can't miss this. Hello, Slay. That's true. Don't worry, it's not gonna be just me for it tonight. Uh, Boo and Aiden are just not here yet. So we're gonna have a little bit of time. We're just gonna hang out a little bit until at least one of them gets here. And then we'll we'll suffer. Well, welcome back to Table Talk, discussion and discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Great on 95. And yeah, today's gonna be a Garibay night. Um we'll see we'll see what we learned today, huh? Yeah, so it's been a gosh, how long has it been since the last one? Actually. Let me check. It was, I want to say one something. 101. Wow. We haven't covered a Garibay video in so long. That's good. I won't lie to you. Part of the reason why we're doing a Garibay video tonight is because I'm very tired. I took a nap beforehand, and like I'm better now, but I'm also incredibly tired. So we shall see how much Garibay wakes me up today. Couple of other things to talk about. First off, apologies to the audio listeners. Last week's episode is still not up yet because I have been doing stuff for my apartment stuff coming up. So I didn't get the time to just put that stuff together. But hey, you know, it'll all get up there. So those of you who do listen to the audio, first off, thank you. The second off, well, bear with me. And I know last time I didn't talk about it too much, and I was going to talk about it more, but I think right now is a good time to, and I'll tell the other guys later on as well. I've got my party looking at my PC as if he's a lich because he's, as I quote, a reverse paladin. Okay, yeah. Like, so does he does he actually do like lich stuff though? Because that's kind of cool. Welcome, August. Um anyway, so I wanted to say next week I won't be here. I won't be able to do the show because the apartment that I'm moving to, the internet won't be put in until the Wednesday. So the next Wednesday. So I won't have any ability to do the show, unfortunately. But that's all right. You guys will get unfortunately a week of nothing, but I will make sure to get everything else out on time beforehand that is in the works. So just be prepared for that. That is what is it? The 19th. The 19th I won't be able to do the show, so is what it is, but you know, figured I'd let you guys know. Hopefully I can do the sound and stuff, the audio setup inside of the apartment good enough so that it doesn't bother anybody. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm moving in this Friday. So that's exciting. And also I hate moving. Like like I never like moving stuff. It's just not something that fills me with joy. So that'll be fun. I will have a great time there. Um, but yeah, I'll still be able to connect via the Discord and stuff. So I'll be around, but I won't be able to do anything major. Also moving out soon, down to my last 5 studio apartments. Long overdue, and I can't wait. Nice. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I got an apartment with a friend of mine, so we're splitting the cost. Um, it's good. I'm glad because it's just helpful, you know. I thought about getting a studio for a while, but then my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to try to get something together?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." It works out, you know. Refuse to have any more roommates. That's fair. Absolutely. If you've been burned before, absolutely. Um, I believe I got the duct tape onto my Patreon account still. I'll take the card I was using before this. Well, welcome, Lux. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I saw that you got back into there, so thank you. But you didn't have to. You could have waited till next month. That way it didn't charge you the 5 because you gave us the 5. Um appreciate it, but yeah. Uh but yeah, I don't know. I I wouldn't get a roommate if it wasn't one of my friends because like I lived with friends up in college up in Maine. Um and that was fine, you know. Um but if it was like random people, to be fair, in college it was technically random people for a while until I like talked to people and actually became friends with them. Because it's not that hard to find people that are interested in the same thing that you are. But I also had other friends who were going up there too, so I had like 2 ins. One being like the oh god, what was the floor called? It was like a it wasn't a gaming floor, but it was like a floor that was dedicated to people in a certain they were studying a certain thing, and so but everybody coincidentally was like a gamer. It was great. um, that's where we met people that did D&D and stuff with. It was great. Rec room? No, no, no. The floor itself had like a specific title because of the people on it. Oh, and the PC essentially Dark Knight homebrew, but it's flavored not as his class, but his race, so he's classified as a fighter. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so uh yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting move in. Hopefully not too hard to do. I'm gonna be doing like a bunch of trips with my car of like all the little stuff and then hopefully getting all the big stuff later on. And it's hopefully I can do a lot more um with like the channel and everything, and like I can stream a bit more because I don't know. I just it felt it feels like I'll be able to do a little bit more, and it'll be neat. It'll be neat. Like, um, I don't mean to just be waffling about, but that's kind of the point of this part because I'm trying to make it so that Boo and Aiden show up, so that we can have more than just me looking at this video because I'm gonna die if I do it alone. I don't. I don't want to do Garibay videos alone. I mean, I know you guys are there, but like, you know. Also, if this means I can take 2 weeks to write the next comment, maybe I can do something with that. Okay, yeah, sure. That's fair. Yeah, and after I moved in and everything's all set, we plan on doing more Devils and Dice. Um so that'll be back in swing, hopefully. I'll join you with my cringe commentary. No worries, artist. You're good. Um but yeah, so get excited for that. That'll start happening again on Thursdays, and then uh releases the VOD on Wednesday. So that'll be fun. Hello, Indigo. How are you doing? I'm actually very excited to get back to Devils and Dice when we actually are able to do that again. Um, I've missed my boy Miz, and I'm excited to do more. We've been playing a lot of um Monster Hunter as of late because Sunbreak came out or Sunbreak, and we haven't done like any of the Sunbreak stuff really. Boo did a little bit, just like the first thing, and he's waiting for us. And yeah, Monster Hunter Rise has actually been really fun. Um, we started it on the Switch actually, but I don't know if anybody else had this, if anybody got it on the Switch, but it feels so weird and it's just not as fun on the Switch. It really kind of sucks. I don't know why. Um, it just left base rise 119 hours. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Base rise on the Switch sucked. Um, it just didn't feel right. I don't know. Because the hardware isn't meant for it. So I wouldn't say that. That's the thing. The hardware can do a lot, right? Nintendo has had a lot of Monster Hunters on it. So on a lot of their consoles, and it's been fine. It's just this time around, it just does not feel right. I don't know. I have no idea. I played it like with the Joy-Cons and like the controller thing, and it just still didn't feel good. But it's whatever. It's better on PC, as most everything is, really. Having it on for like 165 hertz monitor is just better. When things settle, should do a Monster Hunter stream. We might. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah. We could do that. It'd be fun. The problem is like time. Because a lot of times when we try to get all together, it's very rare when all four of us can get together. Myself, Boo, Aiden, and Brogan, aka Known at Ones. We do that every time now. But we all are playing it together, so like I wouldn't mind doing just some random shit together once we can get into G and start grinding some of that stuff. Or I'm sorry, Master. They've renamed it, right? I don't know. But yeah, it's a good idea. Let me take a drink really quick. Buddy. Unless your PC is many years old and all good current games make your PC cry, then PC isn't the best of options. Wow, that's fair. Yeah, if you're not investing into your PC, and keeping it kind of up to date, then yeah, that's fair. I went back and played a little bit of Sly Cooper and I got through almost everything before Panda King. So going back and playing my old games has been fun. And I'm going to probably do that while I wait for the internet to come back. Because even though I have like so many things on my computer downloaded, I don't know. It just seems like a good time to do it. Just to play some stuff again. I haven't played a lot of Monster Hunter, but I like that it's not first person. Oh yeah. Oh, it's great. See a TTRPG based on the Monster Hunter games? Yeah, that would be sick as hell. I think Brogan did something like that at one point for a one-off for Aiden and Boo at one point. I wasn't around for it, but I think I remember him talking about that. It's very cool. Isn't that Monster of the Week? I don't know. I've not looked at Monster of the Week. They made a board game for it? No. Really? What? Oh, Monster Hunter World, the board game. It's based off World? What? Monster of the Week is urban fantasy like Buffy and Supernatural. Yeah, that's what I thought. Holy shit, this is a thing? That's neat. Yo, I want these minis. Okay. If anybody has any interest in Monster Hunter at all, if you look up the Monster Hunter World board game, those minis look amazing. God, that's so cool. I wonder if the other guys know about this. I'll let them know. Don't let me forget. Oh, man. There's so many expansions and stuff, too. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. There's a Dark Souls RPG, but I haven't heard encouraging things about it. They're re-releasing it. I remember Brogan and I were talking about it actually. They're going back to fix it, I believe. But yeah, on its first release, it was trash. But hopefully, when they re-release it, it'll be suitable. It's similar to Kingdom Death. I've never played Kingdom Death, and I really want to play Kingdom Death Monsters. Oh, okay. Cool. Board game that exceeded my budget. Dude, most board games. I've been doing a lot of board game nights with some friends around, and you know what game has actually taken a lot of our time is Villainous, if you know Disney's Villainous. Say what you want about Disney, the corporation, very ugh. But the board game Villainous is really, really, really good. Like super fun. I'm quite happy with my investment. I have like the base game and 3 expansions to it. I'm not gonna get the Marvel stuff or any of that. Mostly because it'll make me sad. But I've gotten the Be Prepared expansion, or Evil is Prepared expansion, I think it's called. Rotten to the Core and whatever the Gaston one is. Very good. I would highly recommend it. Saw some Kingdom Death, too rich for my taste. That's fair. Kingdom Death, very good. Villainous is solid. Yes. I thought what you were going to say was a board game that took up much of your time was Jumanji, because the one of you is trapped in its world. Oh, dude, I was trapped in Jumanji for a while. Don't worry about it. The tabletop sim mod for Kingdom Death worked well the last time you played it. Okay, yeah, I remember seeing there was a channel that I watched that was doing some board games for a while, and I saw it through tabletop sim for the first time ever. So that's the only way that I know Kingdom Death Monster, or Kingdom Death, or however you say it. Is it Kingdom Death Monster? Hold on. Yeah, Kingdom Death Monster. Okay, I'm not crazy. Oh wait. Oh, it's just Kingdom Death. No, this says Kingdom Death Monster and Kingdom Death Monster, right? Yeah. Fuck it. I don't know. I'm a fake fan. But anyway, that was the first time I saw it. So, board games I really want is Burnsicle, Cloudspire, and Stars of Akros, all over $100 easy. Both Burnsicle and Cloudspire are from Chip Theory Games. Never heard of them. You saw Kingdom Death Monster through Wooly Versus as well? Dude, August, me too. Yeah. That was the first time. I didn't watch the entirety of them playing it, but that's how I saw it. Sick. It's cool to see somebody else who watches Wooly. Hell yeah. I should get back to watching Wooly. I miss them all. I've never heard of Burn Cycle and Cloudspire and Stars of Akorios. I'm looking at those. Burn Cycle board game. What is this? Ooh. Team of robots. Cool. I have a mule board game that I've never played. Oh, that sounds interesting too. I love talking about board games. Board games are great. Everybody should play more board games. I don't think they have it in all the videos of their game up, so you may have seen it all. I don't even think I finished the first one, so it's fair enough. Burnsicle puts you in command of a team of robots in the far future. Take down evil, human-run corporations responsible for subjugating AI under their heel. Oh, that's cool. Okay. That's neat. I like this. I like this idea. Oh, look at these minis. God, board games with good minis are so cool. Every time. Because you can take the minis and use them for other things. Or paint them. Oh, if only I was good at painting. That's that one. Talk board games all day. Yeah, dude. Great. I have over 100 board games. Shit, dude, that's awesome. I wish I had more. I have quite a few now. I just got into getting a lot more board games. And I'm hoping to get a lot more. I have a lot on my wish list right now. But like, oh, you want to know? So I didn't know this until I looked at the expansion, but I didn't know that Betrayal at House on the Hill is a fucking Wizards of the Coast game. It's from them. It's from those guys. I had no idea, and yet like I've played it so many times. I just never looked at the box. I guess like enough. The tiny little logo on the side. But yeah, it's a Wizards of the Coast game, and that's crazy. It's really good if you haven't played Betrayal yet. Most people know Betrayal, right? But yeah. Just bought all of Eldritch Horror? Dude, I have the base game for Eldritch Horror, and that is one of my favorites. Hell yeah. I need to get I want to get all of the expansions. It's so good. Ugh, it's so much fun. I have died a couple of times, but I've won a couple of times too. It's great. I just I also have I haven't played it yet, but Lords of Waterdeep, if any of you know that game. It's a D&D game. It is really good. It's a meeple game. And we played it oh Aiden. Hello.
Hello, have you started the stream?
Of course I have.
Second host, it's Sneaky Aiden.
That's not right.
Now.
The
It's a
habit.
recent thing.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Also, for everyone in the audience, you are going to see behind the curtain for just a second. Alejo.
Yeah.
When I told you on Discord, quote, infamy you bithk.
Yeah.
I want you to know
Mhm.
that bithk
Yes.
was intentional. It was not a misspelling.
Okay.
Secondly, give me Linkus.
Oh, I'm in the process, my friend.
Thirdly, I got out of work late today and literally got home and had enough time to change.
Yeah.
And then sent you the message.
Yeah.
Fourthly, are we on four or three? Fourthly.
Four.
Okay, perfect. I am eating crackers and some chalky moo juice.
Okay.
Because all I had for breakfast this morning was a bagel.
Oh,
and
yeah. Okay.
I did not have lunch because I was not hungry.
That's fair.
And now I am starving, but my dedication to this podcast is such that I place it above food.
I appreciate that. But also, Goddamn.
I suppose I could order some food.
Oh.
I could order takeout. Ooh, I kind of want poke. Ooh, fuck, why would you tell me this, Alejo?
It was
Um,
me. I know. I am the villain of
I
this
know, I
story.
know it was you. It was you who implanted the idea in my head,
That's
like
right.
Inception style.
That is me. I am there.
Oh,
The
but my
devil on
phone
your
is.
shoulder.
Oh, but my phone is all the way across the room.
Mm.
If it sounds like I'm getting smaller, it's actually because I am.
Some stuff is on sale on Amazon today. Yeah, I don't have the money to do that right now. I'm going to be moving Friday, so I need to have money for that. And also I have a trip coming that I also need money for. So,
Oh,
yeah.
actually, in
Ah,
fairness, I could have been back a little sooner than I was.
sure.
Because while well, I do place this podcast above food.
Right.
I did stop to order like a mango like milk tea with
Mhm.
boba.
Oh.
So I do not
Opa.
unfortunately place this podcast above mango.
That's fine.
Um, and I totally forgot about my mango tea that I had just sit down and like I've not even taken a sip yet. But like I placed the mango tea like on my stove, went and changed,
Yeah.
went back out, like grabbed chocolate milk from the fridge, and I'm like, I'll drink this during the podcast, and totally forgot about the mango tea.
Well,
So
there
now
you
I
go.
have both.
Hey, I see no problems here, friend.
Me neither.
Okay.
And also poke incoming.
Of course it is. Awesome. Um, yeah, Lords of Waterdeep is super fun. If any of you haven't tried it yet, it's great. Go try it. Um,
I've been wanting to try it.
I have it. Wait, no, we play we. Oh wait, were you not there when we played it?
Nope.
Oh,
I might have been dead.
no. This was before you were dead. I remember
Oh, okay.
that. Yeah, I remember Brogan and I played it, and somebody else. Maybe it was Boo. I don't know. I know Brogan and I have played it, a few times. It's good. It's really good. That's why I bought it for my personal collection. Um, but Aiden, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a couple of questions for you. The first,
First is getting the watch together. I'm working on it.
that is not my question.
Oh,
That would be a demand. But my first question is, did you receive my package?
I have received a box.
Yes.
I've not opened it yet because I've been prioritizing getting to the podcast
That
as
is
quick as
fine.
possible.
I just want to make sure that you got it.
With the absolute exception of mango boba, of
Yes, yes,
course,
yes, 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 yes.
because naturally mango boba.
Right. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure
Uh,
because it said it was delivered, and I just want to make sure that I
yes,
didn't just throw away a bunch of
I
stuff.
I stopped by the mailroom on
Okay.
my way up to my apartment,
Okay.
and I saw that there were two boxes, in fact, and I checked the first one, which was rather small, and it
Yes.
was not for me. And then I went over across the room and I checked the box that was inside. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the way the mailroom works
Mm-hmm.
is my building has like a little throughway kind of.
Yeah.
The interior of the building there is an like open air parking lot.
Okay.
And there is a little throughway where the mailroom is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, drop off the package at the door in the throughway,
Mm-hmm.
like on the interior parking lot side of
Mm-hmm.
things, just so that it's not out in the middle of the street.
Sure.
And would be more likely to be secure from those who sail the high porches.
Of course.
Um And when I got in the mailroom, I noticed that there was a box inside the throughway, which is locked on both sides. So they somehow got into the mailroom. They just didn't give a fuck about dropping the package off by my mailbox.
Oh. Well, I mean, I told
But
the
at the
delivery
end of the
man like that he had to go in somehow get to the mail. I told him how to get there. I didn't tell him that it was locked or anything because I didn't know. So it's just like I guess he
yeah,
did some magic, dude.
dude, I legit actually don't know how the mail. I don't know how the mail gets into my mailbox. Which sounds like I believe in magic,
That,
and maybe I do.
yeah, I mean, a
But
mail delivery person is a magical being. Everyone knows this.
but like the door is locked. Like both doors to the throughway on
Hmm.
either side are locked,
Hmm.
and I don't know how people get past that. Do they like phase through? I don't understand how the mail gets to the mailbox.
Hmm.
And every time an Amazon driver is like, "Hey, how do I drop off your mail?" I'm like, "You brah, I don't fucking know." That's what I thought you knew.
I think what you need to do in future is just update your thing to say that there's a mailroom because that's how I did it and apparently it worked. So,
Okay.
yeah. Um
Apparently, they must have like some skeleton key or
dude,
something.
they probably do. That's the thing. It's probably a driver that when they come by they have like they have a protocol or something and I don't know. Fucking
But
people
but
are
but but
mail's
but
magic.
But then what I think of is if it is a skeleton key, why can't I go on Amazon and like
Just tell them to
purchase a
bring it to.
skeleton key
Oh.
and then commit federal crimes?
uh
Like I don't understand what's stopping people from doing that.
I don't know. I have no idea, my friend. The mail
Like
fairy brings your mail. That's right. That's true.
apparently, I get into the mailroom and I am surrounded by packages for all
Mm,
these like different people,
yes.
and I'm like, I don't give a fuck like about all these packages. I give a fuck to about like if my stuff was delivered today,
Yeah, exactly.
and I don't know which is which, and there is a whole pile of packages like shoved in the corner, like it's Christmas morning,
Oh
and
no.
I need to figure out which is mine.
Oh, I'd feel so awkward touching other people's mail.
Dude, it's not a good feeling, but like you get fucking used to it,
I bet,
man.
yeah.
And like the other like stairwell that leads up to my apartment,
Hmm.
there's one package that's been there since I've moved there. So like four going on 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And just yesterday, instead, like before there was a box, now there is like a box and a package. And
Oh.
I saw it and like opened the door and was greeted by the view of those. And no one was around, but I just said to myself, oh, great, they're breeding.
That's pretty good. I like that. Um well, so my this brings us to my second question.
Oh, yes, of course.
Since you are the only other one here besides me,
Mhm.
you get
There's
to
a song
pick
about that.
you probably you get to pick the video today from the
Oh,
10
fuck
bullet points
yeah.
that we've yet to go, or sorry, the 7 more that we have here.
I pick number 6.
What? Wait a minute. One,
I,
two, three,
eh,
four, five, six. Oh, there
if
is
we,
we haven't done the sixth one, to be fair.
so long as we've not done the sixth one, just I pick number 6. They're
Okay.
all going to be golden.
All right. Well, everyone, are you ready for today? Deep down, despite what the news says, most people are actually good aligned. That is true. Um,
I, I don't even want to know the name of the video before you play it. Like, if
what?
you have to play it for the podcast, I will like leave the call for 10 seconds while you say it.
Okay. Well, I can mute myself for you and then
oh,
tell them.
perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
I just want to figure out some context clues.
Okay. So everyone out there, you can hear me. He can't hear me. This one we're going to be covering is Cartographer, the Dungeon Master bullet points Cartographer from Garibay. So this is interesting. Hopefully it's something we can go by. Popcorn ready, good. At least neutral and not chaotic neutral. Sure. Most people are neutral leaning good. Yeah. Okay, so I will put this in and we will just play. So
I am eating my crackers like it's popcorn.
alright, well somebody else has popcorn, so let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Hi, today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We're going to talk
Okay.
about the DM bullet point problem, Cartographer.
Okay. So it is 11 seconds in and I already have 2 notes.
Okay.
The first is, yeah, actually DMs are cartographers if like they're like making their world. So this video may be valid and I am confused. I am preemptively confused as to how he found a way to fuck it up.
Well, so we were with him in what was it? Guide before, I think, or something, for a little while. Yeah, it was Guide for a little while that we were like, yeah, okay, all right, I see where you're going, and then after like a few minutes he started to spiral. So we're getting there. We'll see.
Yeah, he started talking about like women don't play D&D or something.
Oh, something, yeah, with like action and all that, right?
Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
And the second point was he's like, oh, I'm talking about like another problem that DMs face. I wouldn't say being a cartographer is a problem.
Well,
I would
say
it's a task if you want to be a dungeon master, not a dungeon gooder.
Right. I assume it's less what the are, because remember, these are all the things that you have to be a master of to be a dungeon master. So
Yes.
So it's less a problem. The problem overall is that not everyone is like this. Remember.
My bet is he's just using the word problem like not loquaciously and then kind of as a like a turn of phrase.
Yeah, probably. Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. Exactly. 4X's. It's all about the 4X's. Yes. All right. I'm like slightly tense. Here we go.
Right. Apologies. If you don't know what the Dungeon Master bullet point problem is, you have a little bit of homework. You have to watch the video in the doobly-doo below. Apologies. That video will give you context to understand this video. Just do it so I don't have to repeat myself in every video. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for you. Thanks for your patience. All right,
fair.
let's talk about the discipline of cartography. Let's talk about the role of cartographer. If you are a dungeon master, you have to master cartography, and you have to become a master cartographer. This is incredibly difficult. So what is cartography and being a cartographer? Well, if you're a cartographer, you can make and curate and maintain maps. Right? Maps are a huge part of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Okay, in order to be a dungeon master, you need to master cartography. All right. Now, what are the different levels you can master it at? Well, it's incredible how many different levels you can master it at. You could become like Dyson Logos, who's one of the best map makers on the planet, dungeon map makers on the planet, and he draws incredibly accurate, incredibly innovative, incredibly exciting, incredibly visually appealing, incredibly wonderfully tactile maps. Just gorgeous maps. And I can tell you right now, it would be a life's work to master and to be able to create maps at the level of Dyson Logos.
But remember, every single skill of these is already something that you have to, like, basically have mastered over your lifetime. So really, what's the problem? Don't worry about it if it's going to take you a lifetime to master this one type of cartography, because you're supposedly already doing that with every single other point.
It's a full-time preparation, man, and you only become a dungeon master on your deathbed.
I like that. That's pretty good. Homework, damn, I don't want to do homework. I'll be a dungeon gooder then. Well, see, that's the thing. He says that you need to do a little homework. Remember, that first video is literally nothing. It doesn't tell you anything other than that these 10 exist, and also maybe some more exist, that he has determined, and he never goes into it more than that. That is the entire video. You never need to see it. Every time he brings it up in each of these ones, he says exactly what he would say, except over 11 minutes in that fucking 10 seconds every time. So you don't have to worry about it. That's the fucking thing. And every time he says it, I'm like, you don't need to see it. I guess Tolkien didn't exactly master cartography, what with Mordor being a box. Was it a... I guess. Was it box, right?
it's a rectangle. But yeah.
Okay.
Which I would define a rectangle as a box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's not a master. He didn't make it tactile. Ugh. that word is used for way too much stuff, and it doesn't matter. I can feel a map. Yes. Okay.
Well, yeah, but you can't feel the height differences unless you make it as... No, but you need to be a dungeon you need to.
The glossy finish. It feels so good.
Yeah. It's like the people talking about the business card. They're like, oh, the matte black ink. Ooh.
It is American Psycho. Absolutely, it is that.
Minimal but tasteful.
It's perfect.
Is that 11.5 font? Yeah.
I just, so far I'm like, sure, you could, I guess, but this isn't necessary. You just, if you draw a vague ass map, like, that is enough that you can visualize something, and you can describe it well, you're totally fine. And on the contrary to that, if you draw a detailed map that helps other people visualize something, like, to the extent that it all is fine, then that's good too. But there are so many people that play games where they don't use maps. They just use it all in theater of the mind, and it's totally fine. So are they not dungeon masters when they do that? I guess not. Or are we also going to say that cartography applies to those maps that they make in their head? Potentially. I don't know.
If your players aren't coming up with tactile maps in their brain.
Yes, exactly.
You're only a dungeon gooder.
That's right.
By the way, quick interjection. Okay. I thought of the word I was trying to think of earlier.
Okay.
Because I was like, it's not exploitively, it's not colloidally, it's colloquially. He's using the word problem colloquially.
Yeah, potentially. I'd say my problem is that my mind goblins would kind of like for me to draw a globe, but I only want my maps to be squares that I can easily draw on paper. That's fair.
Poking.
Or you could skip all that noise and you can master the software that will help you create maps. And get this, when you become a great map maker, and whether you do it physically and you draw lines on pieces of paper, or if you use software, you've got to master maps at 2 different levels. You've got to master maps for Dungeons & Dragons at the dungeon level, right, where you can learn to create. Just you're aware, the Fizzbands book just had literally like I think about 20 different maps in it, which were all maps of dragon hordes, beautifully crafted. You have to be able to create top-down views. You have to be able to create side views,
Oh,
right? And this can be done with software or it can be done by hand.
okay. Already not necessary for the side view.
I have never like taken part in a campaign that had a side view.
I don't know if those exist. I've seen them as like
But
artist renditions inside of books. Like this is the
yeah,
side view, the cross section of the trap or whatever, right?
oh yeah, yeah, or like sort of a side like a mug shot of like an NPC or something like
Yeah.
that. Um, but I've never had a battle map side view,
Yeah, I don't think that's a
and I'm a
good
bit
one.
curious as to why it would matter.
Yeah.
Firstly, secondly, I would be willing to give them a shot. Thirdly, if Scott Garibay does them in his games, I would be intrigued to actually bear witness
I
to
really I
a
really
session.
I really wish that he would have examples that he would bring up, like give and show, right? Because I, it would be so interesting to see if he's done something that's a side view. Because I don't know what that means, like physically to look at, that would actually be functional as a battle map,
Yeah,
or really functional as anything that would matter enough to be necessary for a D&D game. It doesn't go through my brain as something that I need to see, but I need to see him show me what he's made, right? Because I
no,
need
no visual aid, only the sound of the blinker.
right. Exactly. Um Dungeon maps are easy, yes. Oh, globes only exist in classrooms. That's also true. I used to have a globe when I was little, actually, when I was
So did
very
I.
small. Um, maybe he's talking about the z-axis, though that's not exactly necessary. Maybe. Uh I don't know. Garibay confused me. What? um, at some point you might as well just play Dwarf Fortress. But my own mind goblins don't understand Garibay speak. Well, that's why we're trying to break it down, and hopefully he'll go into it further. We shall see, but I am unsure.
And there's an entire body of knowledge around either one of those at the dungeon level or at the actual outdoors 5 miles per hex scale, which is, and you even need to be able to draw entire continents. It's incredible. It is so complicated, so
Okay,
challenging, so difficult.
Oh,
so he says, hold on,
I don't
let
know
me
where we are
actually.
anymore. Does it feels like he's jumping between like three different things, and I'm trying to follow, but now we're at continents when I thought we were at dungeons and
So
side view.
he talks about being able to draw at the like 5 miles per hex scale,
Right.
um, which I can get his concern with that. Um, but the problem is he also mentions that software can be used for
Yeah.
cartographical purposes.
Yeah.
Um, and to which I would actually like to um, submit a couple photos um,
Oh.
from my campaign.
Oh. Oh.
There's that. There's that. Okay, so but there we go. Um, uploading still. Hold on. There we
Yeah.
go. Um, the first photo is the photo of my world. Please.
Copy here. And Oh no, it's not opening. Why is it not opening that? Copy this link? Yes. Okay, that works.
Just, yeah,
okay.
Open original.
Aha! The first one.
There we go. So, that is my world. I did that using Asgar's fantasy map generator, which I also posted. Well, I posted the link in the Discord for anyone in the chat who wants to perhaps use that for their own world. It's got a ton of tools, and they are only adding more tools. It's actually wonderful. You can download a copy of your map and just keep it and save it to your save it locally. And they oftentimes will update the website. So it'll say like, hey, you know, this world map is from an outdated version of the website. Would you like to update it to the newest build? And you click yes. And then you can now immediately use all the tools that you may not have had before to change your map. Secondly, you can zoom way the fuck in, which is my second photo.
The second photo?
Yes.
There you are.
The campaign thus far has taken place in that area. They started at the top left, near La Pointe, and they are headed to the bottom right where the three roads intersect to Numbeth. But you can select a town. You can literally change the town's flag.
Yeah, it's very detailed.
Yeah, yeah. You can update its population. You can literally change the rainfall patterns in the world.
Holy fuck.
Like,
that's so much.
It's in depth, but it's absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend it to any DM who is looking to make a map.
Yeah. I have looked at it a couple of times and I've yet to use it myself because I'm trying to figure out more stuff on a different scale before I go commit to map making. But it is something that I am absolutely going to use because it looks just so good. And so the 5 mile per hex thing I think is a little unnecessary. That seems more like if we're going to use some kind of travel mechanic that requires you to worry about that kind of thing, unless we're doing something where we're not worrying about travel time, so we're just kind of skipping between things, in which case you don't need that shit at all. You just need the overview map, right? The overworld map, if you will.
Yeah, if you want to be a dungeon gooder.
Right, exactly. I'm just I'm just like, so I can appreciate that making maps is something that you might need to do. Not always, but definitely is something you might need to do for some games, just to help with visualization. But I'm hoping that he goes more into why this is absolutely a necessity, because, again, played games where we've not used a map at all. In any respect. Not necessary. So, like, and it's been fine. So it's the constant struggle against the Garibay. I'm sorry, my lord. But the constant struggle against the Garibay point of view of you need these things where obviously you don't.
So two things of note.
Right.
The first is You are, I think you're kind of misinterpreting a little bit.
Am I?
Our Lord Garibay's instructions,
Mhm.
when you reframe them in your plebeian
I see.
mind and miss the tips to being a dungeon master.
Right.
And I would thank you kindly to apologize
Oh,
to my friend Scott. Oh God. Okay.
Even you.
That bit is dead. I'm frankly shocked I got through it with a straight face.
That was very good. I appreciated it because it sounded very convincing for a little while.
Secondly,
Yeah.
I do owe you a bit of an apology
Oh.
because I pulled a big old lie to you
Oh.
when I said I had poke incoming. I had not ordered it yet.
Okay.
I ordered it like 3 minutes ago.
I see.
And I'm watching my DoorDash like update.
Yes.
And I see it jump to like the third circle, which means it has been picked up. And I went, huh? And I look and I see the little red tracker, so you can see the vehicle headed to you. And
Yes.
I'm like, holy fuck.
That's quick.
And it went from 26 to 37 minutes to 9 to 14 minutes.
Wow.
Like I saw it jump.
Okay.
That's
pretty good.
They're fucking fast, I guess. Granted, it's not like you have to cook poke.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye, Lux.
Oh yeah, see you, Lux. Well, in 9 to 14 minutes, you'll go away for a little bit, and that's all right. I'll grant that you can make maps more realistic by knowing more about geology and geography, but players aren't necessarily going to care. No, it's true. It's definitely something that is more for your DM to have as additionals for you to dig into if you do, and also for their own self-fulfillment, which is fine. Absolutely fine.
How I viewed cartography changed actually somewhat recently. Because I was designing a dungeon that and actually I think I may have scans of that dungeon. I do not. But it was the basement of like a fabric shop.
Yeah.
That like they were like producing yarn and stuff like that down there. And then selling it in the upstairs like street level. And the store had closed and fallen into disrepair, and a group of cultists had like moved in. And I then had to design the like clothing shop. Or fabric shop. They sold clothing primarily, but also like balls of yarn, stuff like that. And I had to start with the actual shop, and then I like erased stuff out. And I'm like, wall fell over here. They would have cleared out these cubicles here. Initially, like it was a little cubicle with a long table and a little basket where you could put your finished product.
Sure.
They took all the clothing throughout the room and shoved it all in one corner and started to grow mold in it. Because they're druid cultists who were obsessed with expanding a life.
Sure.
So long as there is a new life, they liked it. And it is actually really cool, but I paused one evening as I came to the realization that I had no idea what the inside of like a like a clothing yarn shop was.
Yeah.
And I paused because I was like, oh fuck, I don't know how stuff works. And then like I was looking at mill layouts and stuff like that.
Right.
And I found a sort of general layout that I kind of used because I realized that yes, I don't know what the inside of a yarn production warehouse looks like. But you know what? Neither do my fucking players.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can just go, this is how it's laid out. And they'll go, you know, he probably did a bit of research into it. I'll believe him. And that is good enough.
Exactly, right? Like, that's absolutely a very good thing about it. Because even if it is, like, a little bit less, realistic, it's fine. It's fine. It's a layout, right? They do it this way. That's how it's done. Easily said, easily done. Unless somebody really has a problem with it, in which case, what are you gonna do, man? I don't know. Like, yeah, I did my research. I did enough for me. If it's not enough for you, I'm sorry. It doesn't really affect the game too much in that respect. They should be working in this mill more efficiently if they had it set up like this, right?
Yeah. And I'll be like, you know what? You should tell that to the now defunct business owners.
Exactly. This one is abandoned for a reason. Come on.
Yeah. It's been abandoned and the people who owned it are dead, so I don't know, man.
Hey, man, you want to take it? You want to build it back up? Go for it, Obviously not saying, like, to not try to be realistic if that's what you want, just do the research. And if somebody has a suggestion and stuff like that, because they're like, actually, this is how this works, then it's good to take their advice, and then you can further your creation of further mill designs, I guess. But yeah, it's just one of those things where at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. Players just need a visual aid and are often happy with a simple rendition that lets them get the key info they need to visualize what's on it. Absolutely, it can be that way. Yeah. 5 mile per hex is mainly used for hex crawl games. That's what I figure. Yeah. A lot of his points would be better if he would frame it as, you can improve by doing this, instead of, you have to do this. And that is excellently put, even if I can't speak. That is exactly how it would be if these were framed in a different respect. But that's not how Garibay be. He knows how to be a dungeon master, and he's teaching us what to do. So, I'll ask you kindly to open your mind a bit more. Anyway.
Difficult, right? But let's say you're like, oh, there's no need for that, Scott. All you gotta do is get the good maps that are out there. Good luck with that. That level of being a cartographer is incredibly difficult also, because you need to curate, right?
I'm sorry. It's hard to go and find maps and get them together for what you need.
1 second. Hold on, my food's here.
Yeah. I just, I find it... So, not to say that curating isn't a difficult thing in this respect of, like, getting a bunch of resources that you would need. While that is, I guess, somewhat valid, I would also say that it's not hard to go onto Google and type in what you need and work with what you have. Unless you need something very specific, you can repurpose a lot of maps that aren't necessarily that subject itself, right? You can repurpose a lot of things and just reflavor them, recontextualize what they are, instead of being exactly what it is, right? An example that I can think of right now would be like a goblin den that has like many different branching pathways you find on Google. And you decide, I like the layout of this map. I want to use it for a I don't know, more of a what's a good I immediately thought like bandit hideout, which it could be used for, but then I'm like that's very close, I guess, in a way. Use it for like a alley kind of map, I guess, because the dungeon crawl could be, instead of being itself inside of an area, or it is inside of an area instead of it being the inside of a building or series of tunnels or whatever the fuck, right? It could be that each of these alleyways leads to a different section that's like a dead end, quote unquote, right? It's walled off, or it could lead to like a park in the center that is behind a bunch of buildings, or it could become something that isn't a closed in area and is open air. An open air concept dungeon, if you will.
Like that, I return.
Oh, welcome back. So I can understand the sentiment of it's hard to find what you need, but I also am like, you can repurpose anything. So I don't know, man. As long as the layout is something that you like, feel like you're fine. And even if it isn't, it can give you the inspiration to make something easily that's like, you could get a napkin and just put like a few lines on it and go, this is the layout now.
Is one of the best map makers in the world. He creates incredible dungeon maps, and on his website, which you should absolutely go to, I think there's easily like 700 free incredible maps that he's created over at least a decade. Okay. And he's incredibly skilled. And you will find people on the internet who say, "Oh, he's not that great. We really dislike his style," right? And
that's everywhere, everybody, but sure. This was about curating stuff. I'm confused at where we are, because now we're talking about this again? This person again? Is it more just you can find a bunch of stuff there for you to curate from, I hope?
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Draw maps in completely different styles. 2-minute tabletop is another great source for maps. But if you want to skip creation of maps together, you still aren't free of mastery. There's an incredible amount of difficulty in curation. Dyson Logos is incredible, and you will find, I'm not joking, 5-page long screes on why Dyson Logos should not be used. Which means that, curation is a distinctly different challenge. And yet,
okay, so the reason why it's hard to curate things is because some people say that these things aren't good. So what you do is you say,
I think his point was always that it's a hard thing to do in and of itself. Just some people don't like it.
Well,
which is true.
The direct use of this example, though, is people are saying that this person does not make good work, and you as a curator might find that. So what I'm gathering from that is that because of people's reviews, it makes it harder to find things that you might like and might use. But my direct thought is, if that's the case, and I see that somebody reviews it poorly, I look at it and review it for myself, right? Like, I look at the thing and I go, do I like it? Do I not like it? And then I go from there. And then I either use it or I don't. Because I'm confused as to why we're talking about other people's, I guess, reviews on these maps.
I didn't get that feeling at all from...
Really?
No. I get the feeling that it was just a non sequitur, just some people don't like him. And that was kind of as far as his point went. Can we rewind?
Yeah, I'll rewind it, because I'm not sure. I'll get to back here.
and he's incredibly skilled. And you will find people on the internet who say, "Oh, he's not that great. We really dislike his style," right? And people who draw maps in completely different styles. 2-minute tabletop is another great source for maps.
Yeah.
But if you want to skip creation of maps together, you still aren't free of mastery. There's an incredible amount of difficulty in curation. Dyson Logos is incredible, and you will find, I'm not joking, 5-page long screes on why Dyson Logos should not be used. Which means that, curation is a distinctly different challenge. And
he's completing it with, you'll find these things, which makes it a harder time to curate. He's equating them. He's using it as an example.
Yeah. So I think it's because his example hinges upon the unsaid communication of those 5-page screes.
I don't know what that means.
I've never heard that word used before. That was not like in an onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
So those 5-page long screes are all filled with valid points in his example, I think, and he just didn't mention that the points were valid. So if you were to read those 5-page scree against a map, you automatically go, oh, well, those are valid. I guess I can't use this map, instead of adjusting the map.
Right, or just using it because it works. Yeah, for what your purpose is, because you're looking at the map itself. But it's just a strange thing, because it's like, yes, people are going to either say that something is good or bad, but it's really up to you whether or not you use it. So it depends on the standard that you're going for, I guess. If we're going from a purely, this map needs to be like exactly like a specific representation of a castle's outer walls, and people post reviews and say that this isn't exactly accurate, the parapets are wrong, like these are the wrong style for this type of castle, like all that kind of stuff. If that's something that matters to you, then it will. If it's something that doesn't matter to you, it won't. Right? Like, that's the ultimate thing where I'm like, I understand that these things are out there, whether or not they are valid criticism or whatever. Okay. And like, it doesn't add, or I guess it might add to the difficulty of getting a bunch of maps.
And like,
but it really depends on the standards.
In the entirety of the 5-page long screes,
yes,
you can very easily just hand wave it all away by going, yeah, that's not how the parapets are styled in the real world, but in my world where magic exists, that is how they're styled.
That's exactly my point. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters for finding a map is, does it function within your specifications, right? Because if we're criticizing the artwork or the style itself, that I guess that's literally just a personal opinion on what, if you enjoy that art style or something. But if it's the map itself, does it still function for what you need? Yes, no, right? Like that, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be any more difficult than that, right?
Perhaps I'm unique in this,
mm-hmm.
but I take particular pride in doing one of my duties as dungeon master,
right,
is as the great Garibay once put it, arbiter.
That's right.
And I can say, no, fuck you, that's how it works in my world.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very confused as to why this matters. And I think it's more just Garibay wants to say that this guy makes really good stuff and he likes it a lot and people are naysayers. Which is fine. Okay. But it really doesn't matter to this whole point of becoming a curator is hard. Reviews are opinions. Yes. Whether or not they're right or not is based on their arguments and their evidence. But
You have to go out and find the best maps. And then once you find those maps, you're going to have to figure out how to print them, right?
What?
Do you print them on your own printer and tape them together, and that'll get you through one session? Or do you do you go to a professional printer and have them printed and then
Stop.
Dude, the sessions that Garibay runs
They
sound
must
like
be-
they would cost money to attend.
They must
Like
be
if-
immaculate. Like, I'm picturing the parchment that is used specifically. Parchment.
It's gotta be textured.
Yes, it is raised, bumped. Just every single part of that map is hand fucking crafted. Okay, he's gone to a guy, and the guy got that thing onto that parchment, and then he puts it on the table, and he's like, "Don't you fucking touch it. I paid a lot for that. You can look at it. You can't touch it." Like, I'm sorry. Is it?
If Garibay is going to a professional printer every time he wants to print out a map,
Dude.
like I can only imagine like his campaigns have like a $5 or a $10 a month like subscription cost.
Exactly, because we're talking about printing out a piece of paper. I just, do you want to take each individual piece and print it out and then tape it together? That'll only last you a session. It's like, dude, I will cut costs and make that last me a whole year. Stop.
Yeah. What toddlers are you running a session for?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Sorry, Jimmy's gnawing on floor 3.
Exactly.
laminate them? And when you do that, do you put them in tubes in your house, or do you have a special table? Well, and it will take a special table to keep them flat. Or do you roll them?
It doesn't take the table. What? It takes how you store them and how you use. What?
I get the feeling.
What? Does the table matter?
I get the Alejo, I think I've seen behind the curtain.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't believe Garibay does this. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
I don't either anymore. I just
And the fact that he records his videos on how to DM, the fact that he records them while driving is indicative enough to me that he does not care enough about DMing. So like with how he's like, oh, you'll get a special table. Oh, you'll have this map laminated. He's telling me like, go the extra mile at every single fucking step.
I know.
And if he did that, he would have a fucking recording studio in his house.
Yeah, he would. You're right.
But no, we get videos not even in a parked car, but in a driving one. So I get the feeling that Scott Garibay does not do this in his games.
Yeah.
However,
this is what he wants to do.
He wants people to think this is the norm so that he will start to see players doing this, and then he will get to benefit from people like the percentage of people who actually do that going up in the world.
Maybe.
It is a vain hope that perchance someday he may take part in a campaign where the battle maps have side view layouts that are laminated on parchment.
That's right.
It is my actual hope. And Scott, I know you listen to these videos.
He must.
I know you're listening right now. Please tell me, did I guess right?
This is insane. This is I agree with what Indigo says. The only thing about maps I feel is true is decent maps will always enhance a campaign. Yeah, they never detract. They always enhance. Like, but there is no need for you to spend money to get it printed on special paper, on be laminated. My man, I fucking I have these roll up battle mats that are just things that you draw on with a fucking dry erase marker. Like, and they work just fine. I made a scene on one with like some a road that a T junction in the road where some debris had fallen down and covered some of the road, and that was a whole setting for a battle. And I did that in like, I don't know, like 5 minutes or so, just taking some colors and doing that to it, and just kind of putting some trees and rocks everywhere, and it worked out really well, and everybody was like, hey, there you go. And we played, and it worked. To be fair, I did spend the money on that battle mat, I guess, but I didn't need to. I could have just gone and gotten a piece of fucking 8.5 by 11 paper and drawn the same thing.
Yep. That's my style. I go to Walmart, I buy a graph notebook, like a graph paper notebook.
Yeah.
And that'll last me 3 campaigns.
Exactly. Right? So, I'm just... It's ridiculous. We're now advocating for you to go get things laminated.
I don't actually, because I know that Scott Garibay will make a reaction video where he says a single notebook lasts in 3 campaigns. No, I know in my heart of hearts that that's exactly what he will do. I don't know if like it'll last 3 campaigns. I'm just saying that, like,
right. It's hyperbole, but it's also very possible. That's the thing. We're getting the idea that Garibay's idea of what makes a good map is just how it looks. So far,
them up, which means it's going to be more difficult when you get, when you actually get to use them, right? So even curating maps is incredibly difficult, right? So even if you decide to just do map curation, that's its own thing. Then maintenance is massively difficult. How do you store these maps, right? Okay. Do you roll them? Do you lay them flat? And the maintenance of maps can be very challenging because they can be very expensive, right? And then
Scott, what's the point of recording these in your car when half the time at night, especially when half the time I can't even see you? Okay, like what? Why? Why do you do this?
He doesn't have a recording studio at his house because he spent all his money on maps.
Just, okay.
I would like to request a meme.
Okay.
From everyone who's listening to this podcast.
Okay.
You know the meme of the person posting on Twitter and he's like, "Someone help with budgeting. My family is starving." And he has like food, like $100 a month, gas $25 a month, candles $6,000 a month, and someone responds, "Spend less on candles," and he just responds, "No." I want that meme, but instead of candles, it's maps.
It's maps with Garibay. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
They can be very expensive, right?
Yeah.
And then once you pay the money, you can only really use them usually for 1 or 2 sessions. And then you need new maps, right?
Yeah, so and that's why you don't laminate your fucking maps!
Dude.
God!
Dude. When you've laminated the thing, it's so much more useful, more sessions. What do you mean? You can draw on them with your dry erase markers. You can erase that shit, and you can put little things, and then it's just there. It's fair. It's the Why are we throwing them away after?
I call you Scott because you have cultivated my ire.
Where am I? Seriously, how am I here?
You would know if you had a laminated map.
Apparently. I don't know how I got here. How did we get here with it only lasts 1 to 2 sessions? I can understand, right? I can understand that you make a map, right? You put it on your piece of paper, it's your one-off dungeon, you're done with it. Guess what? You can reuse that map anytime. Anytime. You just change a few things, you might do some additions here and there. It really depends on if you put it in pencil or not. Right? But regardless, you can reuse the hell out of a single 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. It'll look a little smudged. It'll look a little gross because your eraser doesn't erase very well. It erases somewhat, but it leaves that little bit of mark, whenever you erase, and it never comes out. It's annoying, but you deal with it, right? And everybody else at the table, they understand, and they also deal with it. So you just use that one 8.5 by 11 every time, and you're good. Okay? Does it not look as presentable as my fucking map that I had hand painted on fine fucking china that I keep in my cupboard? Okay? No. It doesn't, but you don't fucking need that. What?
Yeah. What about Matt Mercer? Where's his laminated maps? All he uses is miniatures.
That's right. And he uses Dwarven Forge, don't forget, a lot of the time, too, to, create those. And he glues them together sometimes, I think. But, man... I don't understand. I don't know why we need to just throw money at map making. We don't need to. I could go outside with a fucking stick in the dirt and I'll make a map, alright?
You be making your maps to be disposable? Should you be making them so that they're reusable? And then if you are taking the time to print them out and they're gorgeous and they're large and they're awesome, well, it's kind of a waste for you to use them once and then do nothing with them. Aren't you going to need to reach out to a network of other dungeon masters and maybe trade maps and things like that? And
sure, you could do
I have some good friends.
Absolutely possible. Absolutely fine.
You could trade laminated maps. That is something that could happen. Yes, that
it's just
you are grammatically correct.
Good for you that you have a bunch of friends who do this. Good for you. I think he's trying
dungeon masters or dungeon gooders.
I think he's just overall making the point that you shouldn't do something that's not going to last for your map. And again, I point back to me in the past just 2 minutes ago.
I've used their maps. Right? And it's really nice when you have a network of dungeon masters who are trading maps, because then each one of you can have 4 or 5 awesome ones.
A secret organization, a cabal behind the scenes that's running everything. Dungeon masters across this country.
God. Stop saying in such an edgy tone. You sound like a 90s action show.
No, I'm the PSA in the 90s to tell you that Dungeons and Dragons, in the 80s to tell you that it's satanic.
Sounds rad as hell.
Hell yeah, brother.
And then trade off between sessions so that you have literally access to 30, 40, 50, 60 different maps. And, during a campaign, your players may never even see the same map twice, right? So you're talking distribution, you're talking trading, you're talking whether you should be, learning to do pen and ink, whether you should be doing, your own software, whether you should be doing coding. Also,
whoa, okay. Coding.
Sorry. My mind died for a second because I'm playing Destiny.
Sure, yeah.
Did he say you should be doing your own coding?
He's saying, where are you gonna go? Are you gonna do a network? Are you gonna do a fucking market of maps? Are you gonna do your own software? Are you gonna code for your own maps? Are you gonna learn pen and ink?
Why the fuck do I have to know No, legitimately, this is an actual question. Why the fuck do I have to know Python to
create your own maps? Yeah.
Why do I have to? Why is Scott Garibay insisting that I personally go to Wolfram Alpha and put in a huge formula and have it graph my map?
So I'll be his best.
Why is Scott kicking down the door to my apartment? Like, can't you hear him at the door? He's coming.
I'll be as best faith as I can. Yes, you could go as fucking crazy trying to figure out how to make a map as you want. But this is ridiculous. You don't need to go that far. You really don't. It depends on, again, your standards that you want to have for your map making. It can go up as you play, and as you keep doing it, that's fine. If you want to start spending money on maps, absolutely fine. There is no issue there. But this is not a necessity. And it is not a necessity to get to the point where you need to make your own fucking program from knowing how to code. If you do, awesome, very cool. I'm sure that the Asgard fucking map site itself maybe went that way. Who knows? But regardless, if you go that way, that's fine. But this is absolutely not necessary.
If the Asgard site was made by Scott Garibay, I will shit.
That would be funny. This video can be summed up in a few seconds. Get good at cartography. Use lots of maps. Laminate them all. Find a secret cabal of RPG map makers. Have your players acknowledge your mastery. Yeah. Seems to be the Garibay way. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. You have to be so impressive. You have to be so impressive as a DM to your players. I guess. Because, again, all of these things, even with the stuff that we agree with, they're not all entirely necessary. That, like, it's nice to do a lot of these things.
Even when I agree with him deeply, I still have contentions.
Yeah, like they're all nice to do if you want to put in the effort. But it seems like Garibay expects that anybody who is a dungeon master should be putting in maximum fucking effort. And I don't think that's healthy. I feel like you can take a break, man. You can take a break every now and again and run something a little more low key with like something that you doodled on a napkin. All right, that's fine.
No, that's beer and pretzels.
Oh. But like legitimately, I understand, and we've gone over this a few times. He's got a lot of fucking passion for the craft, and there's nothing wrong with that. But man, it seems to be unhealthy a lot of the time.
I haven't even mentioned, like, how do you could sit down and have a super fun time making maps and just like, drawing some rivers and mountains and valleys, right? And half your players will be like, that's wonderful, you did such a great job. And then another player will go, that's okay. And then one of your players is going to be like, this sucks. All your water is flowing to the wrong spaces. The mountains are here. The river.
So I actually have an example. Here. This did not happen. This did not happen exactly as he has put it. I was playing a game with some fellows, and I had my shitty Agris map from my first world that I made. Okay? And I called it a continent and everything, and it's really, after speaking with my friend who is a lot more versed in map making and like geography and how things work in the real world. He was like, no, that's two islands. You have a thing going through the center. Like, and I was like, ah, yeah, that's true. But he went, hey, so, this stuff doesn't necessarily work that way. And I can help you with like making it so that it's more realistic. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I like some realism in my map, absolutely. And we sat down and he helped me with like, yeah, so the river would probably come from the mountains here because, you know, the snow would be wow, my brain can't fucking
Melting.
Thank you, melting. Yes, the word. Oh no. The snow would be melting and it would be coming down here and
Bodes poorly for when you're in your 80s.
oh, I'm never gonna make it. So the it would go down this way and it would probably go this way and this kind of works as you put the forests here and all and he helped me with that kind of aspect. And later on, we like went and we made.
It shouldn't be a river through a desert with a forest somewhere.
Right.
It should be the river through the forest in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, yeah. And so so and after that we even got together and I worked with him making his own map. Like we brainstormed and figured out like how things would be and all this kind of stuff, like and where people would be situated because of the climate and how their culture would be and all this shit. And it was great fun. It was super fun. But like everybody else was like, yeah, this map is fine. Like it works. Like nobody was like, oh, it's a great map because I drew it on a fucking piece of paper like at this point it was 6 years ago, I think. And like it looks like shit. But you know, I started not drawing full trees. I just started doing sticks, and I was like, these are trees. Don't worry about it. So I had somebody come up to me and not say it sucked, but gave me the criticism. So it's not necessarily. I know it's just one example, but like making it so that people believe that one person is going to fucking demonize your goddamn map. Like, what is with that? Why? Why would you think that in your group, in your table, probably
people will be that vicious towards you?
Probably mostly your friends would go, oh, that fucking map sucks ass. I hate it. Your style sucks. Right? Unless they're joking.
But they'll think it, I guess.
Right? I don't. Why are we here?
Just to suffer?
Flow that direction. And you will run into some people who really know about geography, right? So if you're really going to do a great job of being a cartographer, you actually need to know something about geology, geography, right? And again,
I'm unsure why he put that stress on cartographer, but okay.
I don't know. I agree with you that you might find somebody that knows their geology and geography better, as that has happened to me. And again, I submit my story that is even one like anecdote that can be a counter to you saying you're going to have one person that is this way. And that is a dickhead. And I would just go, no, you're not always going to. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
So I will freely admit I do not know my fucking geography.
Yeah.
What's more, I am what you might call geologically challenged.
Fuck, I was taking a drink.
What I know is chemistry.
That's right.
And that's why when if Boo were to talk to me and he'd be like, hey, can these two solutions be mixed to make a solution that would be like this? which of course he never would, because he as a DM knows I can take some liberties. And even if I am wrong, Aiden won't be like, ugh, shoves up glasses
Right.
about it. But even if he did, I'd be like, yeah, sure, like, I'll tell you. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm in the minority, but
Dude, I don't know. I think I don't know what world Garibay lives in, because I don't think it's ours. I really don't know where he is, because I don't know where I am when I am watching him. We're driving somewhere, but I don't know the destination or where we started.
wish you had a better map.
Sorry, I use a GPS. Thank you.
That's going to mean that you're going to need to go get some books. You're going to need to do some study. You're going to need to, like, actually do this body of knowledge. And so here we...
So, again, nothing wrong with going and learning more stuff. Oh, learning is great. Don't need to. You don't need to. But if you want something that's more, like, accurate to how things work, like, in real life, then doing the research and stuff will benefit you greatly. Absolutely. And I would advocate for you to do some research anyway, because research can be fun. Not always for everybody, and even different types of research could be you go and watch a fucking YouTube video, right? Like that could give you a bunch of information instead of you going and reading a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of articles or whatever, right? Like however you want to find stuff out, you can find that stuff out and very easily, and you can learn that shit. And again, not necessary, but it is helpful.
In fact, at risk of speaking for members of our audience, I would dare say that if you are passionate about D&D and tabletop role-playing games, that's a pretty nerdy interest.
Yes.
What's more, in general, you probably aren't too afraid of doing a little bit of research.
Yeah, I would hope. Garibay lives in Garibay's world. It's a world of one. He sometimes sends out these videos from his dimension, but it comes out, well, Garibayed, and triggers mind goblins into overdrive.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's interesting to see this view into some alternate dimension. I just don't agree with it a lot of the time.
My canon is that all of Garibay's videos are actually a cry for help.
Yeah, okay. That's sad. Anyway.
See another discipline, right? People like Dyson Logos have spent probably 20 years learning to draw maps. And he's only good at drawing one kind of map. He's only good at really drawing dungeon level maps, right?
Okay. So earlier you criticized Scott for the light level in his video.
Yeah.
And I thought, that seems a bit excessive.
No.
Now it's starting to do it to me.
Yeah, no, it's a video.
And I would recommend, Scott, maybe you should spend the money on like a night vision camera. But I don't quite know if I'm brave enough to handle Scott in night vision.
His eyes shine every time he looks at the camera.
Oh, God. I don't need to see Scott Garibay, thank God that we're doing this with modern cameras where red eye isn't a thing. I don't know if I could handle Scott Garibay with red eye.
That would be amazing. Oh my God. No, I don't know, man. If you're going to just record yourself talking, just put it out there as an audio file with like a background, please, or something. Just like I'm sorry. It's.
How are we a higher production quality?
I know, right? It's one of those things that it bugs me a lot because it's just like you just don't care about the viewing experience here at all. And like, sure, you don't have to care about it, but man, does it just feel weird, and like you could put a little bit more effort into it. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I understand.
He's not a recording master. That's a lifelong journey.
That's right. That's true. It's just, again, I know, like, it's a personal thing a lot of the time, but I'm looking at it as a person that has to watch this, and I'm watching it, right? And I think that's a perspective that anyone can have, so I'm pretty sure that my my call here for maybe a little bit of light is valid enough.
So here's this thing that people spend their entire lives doing. It's just a bullet point for us. That curation part. You know, some people make a living just curating, things. Curation is not simple. In order to be a good curator, you have to have good taste. You have to know something.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to have good taste to be a curator. Let me tell you. Okay.
You have to go to art school to be a DM.
Like. We're now at the point where it's nearly the end of the video, and now he's just going at it of going and saying, yeah, I'm fucking great. Everyone's fucking great that does this because they mastered this. And these people, they're out there doing it for a living, and they took their whole life. And I'm like, I don't fucking stop. We're not any better than anyone.
Because Dungeon Masters are more evolved.
I know, a higher being, like... Again, we're not better than anyone. Stop it. Stop. It pisses me off every time. It's just like, I don't know how you can, whatever.
About the material. Curation is distinct from creation, right? And this is another thing. Like, when you venture down the life path that is being a dungeon master, you are committing yourself to mastering things.
Stop being a fucking shonen narrator.
I know.
About being a DM. Fucking stop.
And this is the best part, because he says...
Stop making it sound like it's a fucking Keke Genkai.
This is the best part is... What the fuck? Is there thunder going on? What the fuck? Anyway, the best part is, every time he says to go watch his fucking first video to get context, this is the first video! He says the same points in every single one! He does the same thing of fucking sucking his own dick about this shit.
Scott Garibay? Never.
I just... Why...
To mastering 10 things plus that others would spend simply a single lifetime even getting one right. And so it's just incredible. And so Cartographer is another one of these disciplines and these roles that we are called to master.
You know what would be interesting? I'm not talking about the fucking anything that he's talking about. You know what would be interesting in this when he's driving and stuff at night? If he was in an area that had a lot of signs that were like bright and they were different colors, and like he would just be going through different environments that actually were colorful and would put him in different lighting.
The visual disparity.
Yes, it would be so interesting to look at and just see different lights and stuff that he would just be driving around, and like that would actually add something to this, right? Instead of the occasional fucking stoplight and the occasional fucking street lamp and all this kind of shit.
Speak for yourself. I would rather see nothing and then an occasional nostril.
I'm sorry. I hate this.
Now, I'm not afraid of it. I'm a pretty good cartographer. I've drawn my own maps. I keep very good care of my own maps. I trade with other dungeon masters temporarily and permanently. And I accept the challenge of being a good cartographer. It's one of the disciplines I'm still working on, but this
Oh,
this is
oh, whoa! You're working on it?
So you are a self-admitted dungeon gooder?
Garibay exposed.
He's he's a dungeon Garabayer.
Oh,
A league of his own, one might say.
I would
Whether
agree. I would agree wholeheartedly.
whether that bodes ill or well, who can say?
Who can really? Does it matter though? Does it matter?
very real problem, this idea of the dungeon master bullet point problem. When you are committed to being a good dungeon master, the commitment is so incredibly high, right? We are called to master multiple disciplines that others would spend an entire lifetime mastering. And so it makes us surge forward in intellect, in commitment, in dedication, in artistry, and it separates us from regular humans, right? We start to go,
Stop.
God, he fucking said it. He fucking said it. I didn't think he was gonna say
What?
human.
What is this? What is this transhumanism?
He does this every time, but usually he sticks to the transhumanism. No, he just said that you're just better than every human. Just in general, if you're a dungeon master. I can't.
I've never seen this type of classism before. Literally RPG classism.
I can't. You can't be serious. You can't be. You can't be. And I just.
Enter in a realm of commitment and dedication and knowledge and learning that other humans are just not called to. All that's my opinion. What do you think? Where do you put cartography in your disciplines? How do you manage your maps? What are you? I mentioned Dyson's logo. I mentioned 2-minute tabletop. What are some of your great resources that you use in mastery of cartography? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.
I The only part of that ending bit that's of any value, at least, is having people in his comments tell what they use to make maps, like, and where they get them and stuff. Like, that's good. You can have people find new things that way. That's something that is of use.
Frankly, I am still absolutely shocked that he opened up the floor to discussion to people who might not be as good at dungeon masters as him, though.
That's true. It's true.
People who might not be as highly evolved as he.
It's insane. It's fucking insane. Just draw Super Mario World style maps and call it a day. Or if you want to get fancy, Donkey Kong Country. Hell yeah, brother.
Ooh.
Absolutely. All right.
Well, if you do Mario style maps, those are side views.
Ah. Is the indoctrination setting in yet? Am I superior to all humanity yet? Are you? August, I know. I know that it's set in, at least for me. I know that I'm and then I die.
The Adeptus Mechanicus, but it's just Garibay.
Oh no! No! No, please.
But Garibay is the Omnissiah.
How are you feeling for a second one?
Oh, dude, I would unironically love one.
Alright, well, before we get to that, we'll do some shout outs and some shilling, but shit. Oh, 2-1. Today is a day. Special
What
day,
what
everybody.
what I would give for a wholesome Garibay video
Oh, well,
where he does not differentiate himself from the humans as if he is more than human.
unfortunately, we're gonna get a second one that he's going to do that because it'll be another bullet point because I just wanna see what another one of these are. But I will pick it this time around. But
Aw.
what would you like to pick it this time around?
I've already voted 9.
9? Okay, well, we'll see
9.
if we've done that or not. We have not. Oh.
I have
So
a sense.
uh
Before we get to our shoutouts and
sure,
shilling,
sure.
I would just like to do a little bit of a callback where I started off this video going, wow, this is accurate. Like, DMs do have to be cartographers. Like,
Mhm.
that is true.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, how he'll fuck it up.
Yep, that's right.
Because it seemed so
It
clear to me
it was perfect.
that being a DM, like, yeah, cartographers or DMs are cartographers. Yes, that is correct.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I agreed with a lot of contentions.
Mm, mm,
In fact, it would be more accurate to say I disagreed than I agreed.
mm.
But that's neither here nor there. Then he started going all transhumanist on me, and then he really lost me.
Whenever he gets down that path, it's always just stop. Just cease, would you? Um does he even own a house? My faith is shaken. Oh. Our Lord and Savior Garibay, transcending all these dungeon gooders into a higher evolutionary state of dungeon godliness. Kneel before your new dungeon masters, humanity. That's right. I believe he lives in that car. I think living in that car got him to his train of thought because house leaving is beneath a superior mind like himself. No, no, no. Remember, he said you need to own a house if you want to be a dungeon master. That
His
was a
house
thing.
is reserved solely for his D&D campaigns.
Exactly.
He lives in the car, but the house is for D&D.
The house is elegant. It is dusted every day by his manservant, and it is there for when he hosts the
Mhm.
D&D session. But other than that, that house is locked tight. No one is in. No one gets out.
He can't live. Wow, that took on a really dark turn at the end that I wasn't expecting. He has no room for tables like, to dine on or like desks or anything like that
Hmm.
because he uses all the tables for maps.
Hmm. Exactly. The house is for D&D only. His D&D house is the Fort Knox of D&D tables. Yes.
Oh god.
All right. Well, we'll get to a second one, but in the interim, I want to say thank you to those of you and everybody, really, but those of you especially who support us through the Patreon, because you do the money thing, and that means that I need to look at you a lot more. So I'm going to, and I'm going to show everybody. Oh my God, here we go. So, of course, if you would like to, and you are financially able to, again, not an obligation, you can join our Patreon. Patreon.com/TableTalkDND, link in the description. Only if you would like to, for as little as $1 a month. It's up to you. Anyway, that being said, we of course start from top tier and going down, starting with Draco Kraken at tier 4. Thank you. Mog Zero at tier 4. Thank you as well. Rick, aka Unit Rico, at tier 4. Thank you. Slazer at tier 4. Thank you. Steely at tier 4. Thank you. Drake Cross at tier 3. Thank you. Chris at tier 2. Thank you. Frozen Spaghetti at tier 2. Thank you as well. Kill Chrono at tier 2. Thank you. And the Evil Lord of Space, aka Lux, at tier 2. Thank you as well. And of course, our tier 1. Thanks. So, yeah. Again, you can join if you like. If not, that's fine. And always, if you can't afford to anymore, please just don't feel bad about canceling for a while, or just canceling entirely. That's fine. You're fine. Okay. It's good to see more the.
You may not get your dice.
Well, no, that's not true. No.
I'm lying through my teeth. You will get your dice.
You will get your dice. You'll get your dice. Those of you that were around for that, at the tiers, you'll get your dice. You're good. But yeah. So again, thank you. Yeah.
The fact that you enjoy our content is straight up like that's already more than enough.
Exactly.
The fact that you want to contribute towards like our like Patreon is literally just so we can like do stuff for the community.
Exactly.
So we can give back to you,
the people. Yes.
Like literally like our donations have gone towards like first and foremost the dice that like you'll all be getting. Secondly, I believe Alejo, wasn't the mic arm you bought me to help?
Yeah, that is also I'm gonna put it as an expense for it, but I used my own money for it. But yeah, it was supposed to be from the TableTalk fund.
Okay. So yeah, stuff to improve, like either like hell, the microphone I currently have I got from Alejo.
Yes.
I remember actually seeing this old boy back when both Alejo and I were in college.
That's right. I've had it for a long time.
You have. So it's a little piece, a little reminder of you.
That's right. I'm so sorry.
Good, you fucking should be. But yeah, no, like just doing little odds and ends to improve quality to help do stuff for the community, basically.
Yeah.
That is literally what your donations will be used for. We don't use it to like line our pockets.
No.
I think I have received a portion of the Patreon money personally.
It was the early days.
It was like right after $20. Right after I died. No, I remember the specific amount. It was $36.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it was our first 100. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, aside from $36, all of the money that you donate has been used, like, to improve the community.
Well, I would say that the $36 was used for your livelihood, which also helps, but it's not necessary for that, you know?
Yeah.
So, whatever, dude. It's all good. So thank you again. Of course, if you'd like to give us money, but in exchange for goods and or services, you could go on TeePublic and get our logo on a shirt or like on a poster or whatever the fuck. It is there that you can go and get. So yeah, go for it if you would like. In future, there will be more designs. I'm gonna talk to Boo and get some stuff sorted out, but have a plan. It's gonna be interesting. See how it goes. So look forward to that. And of course,
excited for product.
That's right. Please only be excited for product. Do not criticize. Only buy product.
look forward to new product too.
Yes, next product. Oh. But anyway, other than that, of course, you can support us for other goods or services via Humble Bundle.
Our next product is edible. You can eat it.
Well, no.
No. You can eat
You could.
anything.
Well.
If our next product is a shirt, you can eat it.
That is true. That is true.
Hell, after you buy it, it's your shirt. I don't give a fuck.
That's right. You do whatever you want with it. You want to burn it? That's fine. Anyway, Humble Bundle is a great site. Helps support charity with your buying of stuff, as well as you get a bunch of games and other things in bundles. As well as they have their own store that you can get stuff which doesn't require a like portal to go through, like Steam or Origin or any of that kind of stuff. Some of it does. I think specifically Origin stuff only. I might be wrong on some of that. Don't quote me on that. If you use the link in our description and you go on the site and you buy stuff through it, you can get anything, any kind of bundles, any kind of purchases on the store, and a little bit of it goes to us, and a little bit of it goes towards, well, you can change the sliders and stuff so you can make it as much as you want, but it also helps support Tabletop Alliance, a charity that uses tabletop stuff to help the community. So link in the description as well, as always, so that you can go and see their site and information about them if you would like to know more. I don't have any recommendations right now for bundles. I did buy the Lego one, the Lego game bundle, Lego at the movies as it is, because it's all based off of movie properties. And they were all games that I didn't have except for one. And I like Lego games because brain go, ooh, studs, I collect. And then I do. And then I like collecting stuff, so Lego game good for me.
If I may briefly interject,
please.
My internet just crashed noticeably for the first time since I moved.
Oh. But you are here now, so that's good.
Yeah, yes, I am here.
That's good. Well, interesting.
Some may speak what is it? Watashi ga kite. Or is it Watashi wa kite?
Right.
I know All Might says the one with the emphasis instead of like, one of them is like I am here, and one of them is I am here, and whichever one it is, All Might says the one where it's like I am here, and I forget which one is which. But yeah, I had nowhere in particular I was going with this bit. So like, if you wanted to rescue me from this hole that I have cornered myself into,
well,
I would be appreciative, because I am talking because going silent feels like losing at this point.
I see.
So feel free to like cut me off.
Well, I would love to,
whenever you deem. Oh, sorry.
Because we're gonna move on from the shoutouts and the shilling. We're gonna go to the next Garibay video, number 9 on my list here. Would you like to know what it is?
I would not.
Okay, I will tell them. Give me a moment.
Actually, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like, he's just gonna title it the video with it anyway.
It's true. Man, there's a thunderstorm going on right now, and it's loud. Okay. Well, if we go down, that's why. I apologize. I do have a power supply and stuff for my computer and shit, so I should be.
May I make a request?
Okay.
Would you list for me the options that we have not done yet?
And
then I can try to guess as to which one we're doing.
Sure. I'll go in a random order.
And please.
Writer. Arbiter. Actor. Librarian. Historian. storyteller.
I will do arbiter just because it'd be too fitting.
Close.
Damn.
It was librarian. So, welcome
That was
back.
the one that I thought for sure would not be.
Oh,
did I die?
No. You're good. I was gonna go into the video with a welcome back to Garibay. You know, it's fine. So, Super Mario World style overmaps is what I meant. Oh, okay, yeah. Now time to go at 1.5 times speed. Well, when you get here, welcome back. Oh, this is not. We don't need that up. Let me go to the thing and get these off the screen and put on the Garibay. So, this is Librarian, Dungeons & Dragons 5e, the Dungeon Master bullet point problem from our good old Garibay. Here we go.
Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and we're going to talk about the DM, the Dungeon Master bullet point problem, Librarian. All right. Apologies. If you don't know what the Dungeon Master bullet point problem is, you got some homework to do.
Nope.
You got to watch the video that is linked in the doobly-doo below. And what that'll do is it'll give you context for this video. Yep. Apologies, it's just so I don't have to repeat myself.
And yet you do! You do! Every fucking video, you do! It's fine. It's most of his fucking videos repeating fuck himself because
it is.
Note to self, look into RPG Maker Resurgence. Do it.
Thank you. All right, let's talk about this Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Dungeon Master bullet point problem. You have to learn to be a librarian.
Okay.
And you will not imagine how complicated this is.
People spend their entire lives being librarians.
Also, it's very complicated, apparently. The Dewey Decimal System is, I guess it's a little complicated.
Admittedly outdated and awful.
Yeah, we kind of just go by genre now, and that's about it.
The real juice of dungeon mastering happens with books. It starts with books and it ends with books. And you will never get more information about dungeon mastering than books will give you.
Scott, I know you're trying to sound like all ostentatious and speaking a lot of hyperbole, but don't insult my intelligence by telling me blatant lies.
Yeah, that's just not true. I mean, if we want to
it is demonstrably false.
Yes, if we want to be very if I want to try to steelman him a bit, okay? I'll try. All of the information that you can find online came from for Dungeons and Dragons, mostly. Most of it, I guess. All the official information online. See, I'm already fucking up trying to steelman him. All of the official information online that is there for you to consume for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition is from the books. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Apocrypha isn't.
Is that an official?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
It is Wizards of the Coast homebrew.
Okay. Yeah, so you can basically count it as official.
Or what's his name? Is it Jeremy Soule on Twitter?
Don't know.
Like, people will say, "Hey, at so and so, was this the intention for your ruling?" And he will say,
I thought it was Mike
yes
Merles that they.
Maybe. The first name that occurred to me was Jeremy Crawford, and I'm pretty sure he does that car show.
I don't know. I think so. Top Gun? Or not Top Gun. Wow, brain.
No, Top Gun.
Yeah, sure, it's Top Gun.
No, not Top Gun.
I don't know. My brain isn't working.
Fuck, I don't know. I'm a chemist. I don't like cars.
Anyway, so I've already failed at my steel manning, because I've also now thought of the, I guess, well, yeah, it's mostly just the UA stuff, really. But is the UA stuff considered official? No, not until it's actually implemented, because it's playtest material. And meant for playtesting so that they can balance it later. But for Apocrypha itself, then yeah.
Hey, though, a goodly amount of what is present in Tasha's was UA.
It wasn't official
got
until
published.
Yes.
And got published.
Yes.
Like unchanged.
True. But I would also point that it wasn't official until it was published. That's the thing. Even if it was unchanged, it was there to be tested.
And in which case, I would still be grammatically contentious and say, he said resources for Dungeons and Dragons. He didn't say officially licensed resources.
Sure. Either way, he's wrong.
Oh, yes.
We'll
I think we can both settle on that.
Oh, absolutely. There's no contention there.
The golden source of information for dungeon mastering, okay?
No.
Now, if you're a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition dungeon master, I'm going to explain my library, and I'm not even at the deep. I'm fairly deep. I have a fairly deep library. I have a good, solid, deep library, and I know for a fact there are other people who put my librarian skills, my librarian efforts, my librarian organization to shame with...
So you're not a dungeon master. Okay.
Higher complexity, higher execution, and higher quality. But I'm going to tell you what I do just to manage my library,
from you?
And then just understand that there are people who take this way further than I am going to tell you. It is bonkers nuts how deep this goes. Okay. All right. So my library.
I'm going to assume that what he's going to say is be well read and have the resources that are given to you via Wizards of the Coast, right, for 5th edition, so that you can refer to them and all that kind of stuff, right? I feel like that's where we're going, so that you can have that inspiration from like other writers and all that kind of stuff, right? I feel like that's a sensible place to go. To like say,
that's how you know he's not going there.
Well, maybe this is the one, okay?
As a librarian, you are better than people.
First of all, I have a traditional library of bookshelves that are just traditional sized tabletop role-playing games. Okay, I have my 5th edition hardback books on there.
It's
a
problem.
Yeah, my shelving doesn't matter. What the fuck? I missed a bit. Let's see.
Size tabletop role-playing games. Okay, I have my 5th edition hardback books on there. I also have my 1st edition hardback books on there, my 2nd edition hardback books on there, my 3rd edition hardback books on there, my 4th edition hardback books on there.
Do you have 5th?
And I am thoroughly convinced.
He started with 5th.
Oh, okay.
And then went to 1. And then went up from there. So,
all Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition dungeon masters who want to be exceptional have to have the PHP, the MM, and the D&D.
Don't say of each edition.
In hardback.
Don't say of each edition.
All versions of the game.
There you go. No, it's there. You absolutely no, you don't. Fuck no, you don't. What? No.
You barely need the PHP.
You don't need anything from any other edition to play 5e. You don't. Why would you say this? Why would you say this? There is no need for any of them for 5th edition itself. It is so self-contained and so easy to run on its own. Why would you need other editions to
Dude,
then
there's gonna
confuse
be
you,
a
quote unquote?
lot of fucking overlap if you read all the editions.
Exactly. Like,
You're going to read, dude, like, do whatever. Don't even fucking bother with the book if you don't want to.
Right.
Like, change whatever you want. You're gonna read that 5 times, and
Yeah.
hopefully by the time you reach 5th edition, you'll feel pretty stupid.
Exactly.
Hopefully by the time that you read it the 5th time, you'll realize the previous 4 books were a waste of money and time.
So,
which technically is a waste of time twice.
So I'll take this point and I'll turn it into something else that actually is beneficial. If you want to have more inspiration that is based off of the old editions, looking into those editions is beneficial. They will tell you about areas and monsters and mechanics that you can use in your 5th edition game. You just need to port it over. And it's not as hard as it sounds, because there is literally an official thing that you can find that talks about how you port things from every edition to 5th edition. Literally, it exists. So you can go back and look at these things if you would like. Absolutely fine. Not fucking necessary for you to buy the hardback cover of, or just any cover, any printing of every fucking edition before 5th edition. That is insane.
Scott, I'm sorry, I spent all my money on maps.
Exactly. Dude, 5e players barely read their character sheets and act like they know how to play. You can't bother them with a book because they'll just cut and paste what they hate and want, what they have and want, probably. I wouldn't say that. But I get your joke. It's insane. I'm sorry, but
you know, if I
mm-hmm.
were to describe Scott Garibay's videos,
sure,
in one word,
mm-hmm.
it would be self-masturbatory.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Also, I don't like advocating for the fact that you need to buy all of these things. I don't like the needing to spend a lot of money on these older edition books, because the PDFs are available and they're much cheaper, first off. Second off, not everybody has the money to do this, even to get all the PDFs themselves, even if they are cheaper. Like, we have to, I'm sorry, Scott, but we are just always and rapidly creating this divide between a lot of people, okay? And the thing about Dungeons and Dragons is that it's so easy to play without even worrying about a book, is that you can take all people, all walks of life, and they can just play together. And they can dungeon master together or whatever too. Like, you can do that without spending a cent. You really, really can.
Now, dude, to start playing Warhammer, you need to collect every army and every codex from every edition.
From every edition,
And
yeah.
you need to have a 5,000 point army of every single faction.
Yep, and even the old models that they have completely out of production, that they have completely updated. You can't not. Like, it's insane. It's fucking insane. Before you can be a dungeon master, you have to master business and economics so you can have enough money. Exactly.
While you were at librarian school, I was at economy school, and I learned that did not work.
While you were attempting to be a dungeon master, I was playing the stocks. Like, I just... Why? Why would you even? Why?
E2, E3, E4, E, and 5e. I don't think you really hit stride. You don't really get what needs to be accomplished until you understand the game through those core steps, right? And then in addition to that, I have games like Shadowrun. I have games like Five Torches Deep. I have games like Torchbearer, all in print, okay? All that are traditional Dungeons and Dragons core sized books. Okay?
Oh, because they're the same size, they're important? No.
Were it anyone else, I would assume he meant page count, but I'm not sure if he's talking about like they're 8.5 by 11.
No, I think he does mean page count. So he's talking about all of these things, all of these other systems that use the same amount of content.
But Alejo, he has shattered my faith in him.
Oh, I understand that. Believe me, I do. And I'm taking him, again, as best faith as I can. But man, that's fucking stupid. Because the size of the book is the same as the core D&D books means that they're important. Means that you need them. No.
I don't think he, for what it's worth, I don't think he means that because it's the same size you have to buy it. That seems a little ludicrous. Granted, that means it's on brand for Garibay.
Well, we can re-listen to it and then I'll let him continue a bit, but this is the implication.
You know what? Actually, I take that back because I was going to say that seems a little ludicrous even for Garibay. But if you had asked me, you know what? Does believing that DMs aren't human anymore, like, a little too ridiculous for him? I would go, you know what? Yeah, like, there's no way he'd believe that.
So, but like, even if that's not, the problem is because he's talking about what you need. And that is the whole message throughout so far. So even if he doesn't explicitly say that you need these things because they are the same, or he's more implying that he has them because they are the same length, the same amount there, and that is necessary for him because he is a good dungeon master, he's a librarian, so you should follow in his footsteps. He doesn't have to explicitly say it. This is the implication. It is there. It is clear. Or at least that interpretation is very clear. All walks of life can't play together if we're going to buy the Garibay way of dividing the masses on skill level. Also true. They have to be the same size. This man's mind goblins are built different. There actually is a librarian school. You apparently have to actually have a master's degree to be a librarian. I know this because I've had to job hunt before. Hey, there you go.
Oh.
Good to know.
So, so why do I have all these indie books, right? Well, it's
indie?
What? Wait, what?
He's remember, he said Shadowrun was one of them, and then the Torchbearer one, and then the 5 something that I've forgotten. But those are like, I don't think Shadowrun is indie necessarily. I don't like the other two. I guess this depends on the standard of what we're talking about for independent companies, because I would consider Wizards of the Coast, well, because they're owned by Hasbro, right? So I guess they're not necessarily indie anymore. Is it Hasbro? Or, yeah, I think it's Hasbro. Anyway, so I guess anything that isn't basically Wizards of the Coast situation, we can consider indie now. Fair. Okay. If that's the standard we're going for. Okay. Remember, anything that's not D&D 5e is indie because they're not successful. Maybe. This is the thing. It's so weird. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to parse. This is the standard we have been given.
Page 4 of the Dungeon Master Guide. It says, of the 5e Dungeon Master Guide, it says, The rules are not in charge. You are, right? So you.
Oh my God.
So if you're really gonna be exceptional at being a dungeon master, you need to master bringing ideas, rule sets, NPC
How do you consolidate? How do you consolidate? You must own all these books with. Yeah, the books say the books aren't in charge. You are. How do you consolidate those two?
It's an excellent question. Excellent question. Because D&D matters a lot. And we need to make sure that everybody knows that it matters a lot, so we have to have all of the editions.
Like, I have all, like, or I don't have all editions, but I have far more books than I need precisely because it's a bit of a problem.
I have quite a few books, yeah. I don't need them all, but I like having them.
Yeah, they look pretty on my shelf.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them now. They look pretty. They make me feel smart because I own so many books.
That's right. But you shouldn't feel smart, remember, because Garibay has said, video game, bad. You should read books. Only read book. Because he's in charge of the books, and if you're not buying the books, you're not respecting him and his rules in his game.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I've always assumed indie just meant something was made by a single person, but I don't think I've ever actually looked it up. No, they're independent studios themselves and everything, right?
Isn't Team Cherry technically indie?
Team Cherry.
Making Hollow Knight creators.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
Because Hollow Knight is like the world's biggest indie game, so much so that I would say it no longer counts as indie.
No, I would still count it as indie. It's just that it got Super Meat Boy is still indie, and that blew the fuck up, right?
Yeah, no, so is Among Us.
Yeah, it's still indie. It's whether or not, I think the way that we define it, at least for video game companies, is whether or not they're signed with or they are under a publisher, like they are bought and maintained by a publisher.
Yeah.
Because they can publish with whoever, that's fine. But it's more who owns them. If they're still self-owned and shit, they're indie. A popular game can still be indie, yes.
All kinds of different material. You want to steal the best from other tabletop role-playing games to make your 5e game stand out from good dungeon. I compete with good 5th edition dungeon masters, right? And I don't want to be good, I want to be great, and I want to be the best, and I don't want anyone in my area to steal my physical players. I want it to be known.
Oh my god. Really?
Players are property.
That is your reasoning? Really? Really? Wow.
Well, dungeon masters are a more advanced race than players, and players are property. This is starting to sound very bad, Scott.
I'm amazed.
You understand how bad that sounds, right, Scott?
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. Wow.
I want everyone in my hometown to know that I am the best. I want my initials at the top of the arcade machine.
That's more prestigious, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. How can you say that? How can you actually...
That's kind of a theme with Scott.
I know, but I guess less... How can you think that, even? I understand wanting to have a group and wanting to make sure that you can reliably have them be there for games and stuff. But
I just settle for the respect of my players.
Yeah,
I don't want the respect of people that aren't at my table.
Right, to need to make sure that your players are not poached that there are no other dungeon masters in your area that are even as good as you.
I make sure to ask all my players about going monogamous.
Exactly. Like, the fact that we are. This is so contrary to what he's doing here, because what if somebody in his fucking town watches his videos, employs his methods, becomes better than him because of it? It's
No,
just...
they would have to have been DMing since they were 11.
I know, but it could exist. It could happen. That's the thing. You could have a prodigy.
Then Scott would play in their games and learn at their feet.
I would fucking hope so, because this is just a fucking ridiculous standard to set for yourself as well as your entire, like, community. That you have to compete with every single dungeon master that's potentially in your fucking town.
I mean, it kind of tracks though. Like, of course, the guy who doesn't believe that D&D is something for fun, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Of course, that same person would believe that it's a competition.
It's when you have the implication that's there that you can infer, and you can go, okay, yeah, I can see that he's like kind of super into, but when he outright just says it, it's just something else.
There is a cafe by where I live.
Okay.
Or actually, it's kind of a pub. Where you can go in, and while you're like waiting for your food and drinks, you can just ask them like, "Hey, bring Settlers of Catan over here."
Oh, that's rad.
They will bring Settlers of Catan to your table, and you all can like play while you are waiting and eating.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, it was the place I sent you pictures of in the group chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sick.
And what's more, they sell. They have a whole like. I actually would go so far as to say 2/3 of the building that they sell like TTRPGs at. And then they also have weekly Warhammer tournaments.
Hell fucking yeah.
And I think it's called like Battle League or something.
Okay.
But where was I going for this? What was he saying?
Better than everybody in the area. Fucking, I don't. I'm rapidly trying to flush it.
Oh, yes. There was so I went in there and I was having a tourist moment and looking at like the memorabilia and like shirts and stuff like that. Yeah. And there was a shirt that said, "This is a co-op game, but I'm winning." And that seems to be what Scott legitimately thinks.
Yes. So blatant, and I'm floored, The way you measure it is by recognizability to casual audiences and the success and influence of that company. Are you talking about indie games? Potentially. They've been DMing out of the womb. Mother has been shamed into becoming a good player. Garibay's planning to raise the Michael Jordan of D&D players. That's right. He wants to be like Mike.
Born with a D20 in their hand.
That's right. Rolling as they came out.
Ugh.
I need to hear it again.
Dungeon masters, right? And I don't want to be good. I want to be great, and I want to be the best, and I don't want anyone in my area to steal my physical players. I want it to be known that I have a premium. I want it to be known when it comes to D&D 5e in our area, I'm peak DM, period. And you don't get there if you don't mix in ideas from other tabletop role-playing games and make your 5e game as tight as possible.
That's just crazy. Yeah, why your vision your vision for your games should be what you and your table enjoys. I'm glad that your players, your premium players, what a word for it.
Again,
I
it
know.
sounds like a subscription service.
I know. It's because it's getting oh god. If they enjoy your what you do for it, that's great. I'm glad for you. You're nowhere near as special as you think you are. I'm sorry. Like, oh my god. Just take a moment. Really just think about what you're fucking saying. And I know it won't go anywhere because you're in that mindset somehow. But man, wow. Just wow. Garibay took a dark turn there. Yeah. I mean, it's always been brewing, but like, man.
I mean, I don't know. I would say this doesn't compare to the idea that he's not human anymore.
Oh, so it's just it's always been, that's the thing. It's always been there. It's just fucking, I don't know, man. When you're so explicit about it, it just hits different. I don't know.
No, it do.
It do. I know your fun is not wrong, but I, August, am saying about Garibay, your fun is wrong. This logic bothers me.
Join the club.
Yeah, I'm perturbed, man.
That's just my bookshelves for D&D 5e for books that are the same size as a D&D 5e book, hardback, and all the editions of Dungeons & Dragons and all the indie games.
That'd be
I have
hardback.
another bookshelf just for box sets, and then I have another organization system just for off-size tabletop.
So show us pictures.
I own about 2.
Yeah, really. Like, why just tell us about this? Please, just show us some stuff.
Please demonstrate.
Like, first off, I'm glad you're very organized. That's good. Being organized is good.
I'm glad you have a lot of resources on hand. Shame you haven't paid attention to any of them.
Like, or you somehow just took something that I could never see in all of them. You took away something that is just...
He knows how to read between the lines.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, remember, when they were publishing Dungeon Magazine, he was telling you about how to live your life and not just DMing. It is your life. It is... Like, that was what he was saying. It wasn't the game. It's your fucking life. He really, really took that to heart, and I don't know how he got there. He's been rewriting them into his cultist ideals. Dude, it's weird.
200 tabletop distinct, individual, freestanding tabletop role-playing games, and I have 2 different bookshelf systems, one for traditional size tabletop role-playing games, one for box sets, and one for off-size tabletop role-playing games.
You already said this.
Bonkers,
Cool.
right? That's just the physical stuff, okay? In addition to that, I have distinct repositories on DriveThruRPG, Itch.io, right? Humble Bundle, okay?
Oh.
And on Paizo. 4 different distinct electronic repositories, all that have purchased, free stuff I've purchased, and stuff that was free on it. It is outrageously complicated and crazy how extensive my library is. It has hundreds.
It's really not.
Why does this have dick measuring contest energy?
Dude, it always does. He's always really just telling you how fucking much he has, how good he is.
I wonder what would happen if you went to a bookstore and like started talking to someone buying their first PHB, and he'd be like, "Oh, I have a bookshelf of this, and a
Yeah.
bookshelf of this, and a
Yeah.
bookshelf of this," and the person goes, "Yeah, dude, that's cool. I have a girlfriend."
Yeah. Just any like I just like they just look at him after he's listed off his many accolades of his repositories, right? And then they just go, "Mm-hmm," and I feel self-fulfilled. Like it's it just screams that this is where his self-worth and I know we've talked about this before, but this is where his self-worth comes from.
No, it literally does.
And it's so sad. It's just sad. Because I don't think anyone at all should needs to give a fuck about everything that you own that you can use. Good for you, man. I'm glad you get a lot of stuff out of all of that content. Very
You know
cool.
what?
Glad you spent all that money.
Alejo, counter to your point,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
I will say, when I was in college and I saw your Steam library, my respect for you did actually grow.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Fair?
Yeah, not a counter. Just okay. That's the thing. I understand that having a lot of things can give respect and stuff, but it's the person that actually has the things that should deserve that respect, not the fact that they have those things, right? I think that's just a fundamental thing of existence. And he's listing off all these things, he's telling me all these things, and sure, it could be respectable that he has all these things, but when I see and listen to how he uses these things, I do not respect it.
Yeah, you know what, that's fair.
That's where I'm getting at, right? Whether or not you respect me for having too many fucking games, that's fine. I would hope that that's more just because I play them and I acknowledge flaws and talk about them and actually have something to say. And also I'm a fucking weirdo.
You know though, I would say,
mm-hmm.
If you were to give me your opinion on video games,
Yeah.
versus someone who owned only a quarter of your games, which a quarter of your games is still, I think, more games than I own.
It's about 400, yeah.
I
maybe.
have...
Well, no, sorry. A quarter would be. No, I'm only at 13. So
how do I check how many games? Oh, sorry, 250.
Okay. Yeah, so about a quarter. You're about there.
Yeah.
Your point.
Yeah, my point was, if given only the metric of how many games you own, I would be more likely to listen to your opinion on that subject.
That's absolutely fair. I understand that, and I understand the how that is with society in general and people in general, right? You must know more. You have so much, right? That makes sense.
I take investiture as a metric of likely research and expertise.
Yes. And I will happily admit that I try very hard to avoid games that I either have no interest in or am assured that they are bad. So I can recommend most of my library. Most of it. There are a few in there that I would absolutely not. Quite a few. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's it really depends on the person and how they use this whatever they have, knowledge and all of this kind of shit. So I just, man, every time this Garibay guy, huh? Look at this guy. Isn't he interesting? Because he's a nerd, how else is he going to flex over the other nerds but with books? Yeah, that's right. I can't remember the whole scene to the Simpsons episode, but I remember someone bragging their bachelor life to Homer, who counters with, "I sleep in a big bed with my wife." That
Yeah, it
would
was Millhouse's father.
very good. That would
It's
trump
like
Garibay.
I sleep in a race car bed. And then Homer goes,
Yeah,
I sleep in the big bed with my wife.
I remember that. It's so good. Good reference. Very good. Um, these priorities are weird. Yes. On Steam, I have 241 games. I guarantee.
Really? You think that now?
Oh, the priorities. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, on Steam, I have 241 games. I guarantee you, I've probably played only half of them and finished a tenth of those I played. That's fair. I'm
That's
going through
fair.
my catalog. It's taken a long time, and I won't finish it. But maybe if I ever give my code to my account to a future generation, maybe they can take up where I left off. When you buy games because they're on sale, the backlog builds up. That's also true.
You
And
know, I've thought about that recently.
hmm,
Like when I die,
yeah,
you could legitimately sell all the Pokemon I have.
yeah,
Like I have a living dex and I'm nearing 500 competitive ready Pokemon.
yeah,
Granted, you couldn't sell them for much because you could just as easily hack them in, but all mine are legit.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. Like if I wanted to, I could sell my whole account and be fucking, oh my god. But I don't want to do that because I like all my
Yeah,
games.
yeah,
And
no, fuck
also,
that.
I buy games on sale mostly because they're games that I'm interested in that I will play. You know,
Yeah,
it's not
and
just
you
because they're
also
on
get a
sale.
lot of your games on Humble.
Yes, and most of the games on Humble that I get, I add to my library because they're good, and the other ones I either have already or I keep because I don't want them because they're part of the
Yeah,
bundle that has good games in it. You know.
I have let's see. How do I like view by like game codes?
In Humble?
No, on
Oh,
Steam.
on Steam?
In view my profile.
Yeah. If you go on your profile, you can to look at game codes.
Yeah, because I know I have spare codes of like multiple games.
Ah,
Edit profile,
what's bad about Steam is that if they ever shut down, you could be screwed since you don't actually own your games on there. So that's why offline mode exists, but it really would depend on if I have them downloaded or not. But you're right. Like you're right. You're absolutely right. A physical copy is something that's much more valuable than a digital copy, and I recognize that. Um, but I don't think Steam's ever gonna go down. First off, so I'm okay there because they're literally the giant of the industry. So nothing's gonna topple them unless something like somebody does something very bad that I don't want to happen.
I have a copy of Castle Crashers and
Oh,
a copy of Elder Scrolls Online.
okay.
Because I was going to gift you a copy of ESO, and then you're like, all right, I own it. And
Yeah,
and, and I was like,
yeah, that's probably true. That's probably what happened.
it was either you or Alex, but I think it was you.
It was probably me. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I recognize it could be bad, but I also think that if it were to be bad, I would be long dead. I think that I will die before Steam dies, okay? I really do. So it'll be fine. Whatever. Um anyway, enough about that. Let's continue with more stuff.
Of tabletop role-playing games, right? And it spans the digital space and it spans the physical space. It is immensely complicated. It has to be maintained, and even beyond that, there's even a value issue where
There is.
I have 4 kids and a beautiful wife, right? If anything
Wow.
I own reaches 100% value over what I purchased it for, I generally sell it, right? So I've
Okay.
definitely had I've definitely had like, I'd probably say a dozen, maybe 2 dozen games where over the years, I'll have them for 10, 15 years. Sometimes the values will go
So confused. I'm so actually confused as to how Garibay lives.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, he has 4 kids and a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a family of that size is fucking expensive, my
Very
guy.
much so, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Does he not spend money on absolutely anything else?
I don't know.
Does his wife have a really good job and him?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know. Pretty sure the Steam program has to start for the game to run. It runs even if I'm not connected to the internet or anything. It'll run into offline mode, so it still works. Sorry, go on.
Like, so in the interest of full disclosure, up until this point, I just assumed Garibay DM'd full time. Like that was his job, because he, with the way he talks about the level of prep he does and recording videos, I just literally, does he not sleep? I don't understand where he finds the time.
Yeah.
Or the money.
Yeah. He has a what? After 4 kids and a wife, like, time stops for me, and I wonder, what have I done with myself that this guy has 4 kids and a wife before me? Yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's something's going really right for him, and that's good. I'm glad for him.
Like, hell, I have a full-time job and I barely have time to guest on a podcast.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's it's an interesting situation. It really is.
Over what I paid for them, and I'll sell them. Right? There's a few that I keep. I'll give you some examples. I own the Marvel Saga game in perfect condition with all of the cards.
Okay.
Right? That's probably my most valuable game. Right? And that one has definitely gone way over 300% of what I originally paid for, because I bought it off the shelf. Right? And I have, I've actually cordoned that thing off. It's in its own container, and I don't even keep that thing in my house anymore. Like,
No, that
makes
is
sense.
Actually, that's kind of funny. Like that I totally get that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's so valuable at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like,
why would you keep it in your house?
Yeah,
with your 4 fucking kids?
He's in the right to do this.
Absolutely. There can only be one answer: clones. Oh.
He has multiple cars.
Oh no. Oh god. All right.
Safety deposit for that. So it's great. Like, it's nuts. Like, you even have to start thinking about values on stuff and think, oh my gosh, did this thing I bought that's in good condition, is it now worth 200, 300, 400% of what I purchased for? And should I sell it? Right?
Well, what if I don't want to? What if that never crosses my mind because I really like the game and I just use it? Like, why? Huh? Why? You got that picture. I just saw it as I was unpausing it. Damn it. But like, I don't want to think about money all the time. I'm sorry. I really don't. I hate having to think about money as much as I do.
I would like to think about money all the time if I were thinking about how much I had.
Like, if I'm in the situation where I have this thing that means a lot to me, I don't want to think about how much it is in terms of money. that's just a personal thing. It's
Yeah.
it's just the like, and I don't see why anybody else needs to, right? It is literally just a person to person basis of whether or not it means anything to you, whether or not this thing is more valuable.
No, I need you to know that I have a shiny alpha female Hisui Typhlosion. That's a
Right.
1 in 3.2 million chance.
Yes. How much is it worth?
I owe $0 because hackers.
So I don't care.
No care.
Oh, sorry. I have so much care.
God damn it! All like 3 weeks of grinding it took me to get a okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Side note, I'm just gonna rave for a bit.
Sure.
I was grinding for specifically a shiny alpha male Hisui Typhlosion.
Yeah.
The reason being, it says that Hisui Typhlosion purifies lost souls with his flames.
Right.
And it reminded me a lot of one of my D&D characters, Morty.
Oh, right. I remember the story.
And yes, and I was gonna catch a shiny alpha male and name it Morty.
Yes.
And I caught a female before I caught a male. Which the females are 8 times rarer. And a male is a shiny alpha male is approximately a 1 in 4 million chance. And I'm like, 1 in like 40,000 or something. Regardless, times 8, 1 in 400,000, yes. And the female is thus 1 in 3.2 million. And I got the female before I got the male, and I'm like, God damn it. Because I still had to continue grinding to get Morty. But you know what? My shiny alpha female is like easily my most prized Pokemon.
I'm sure.
Thank you. I hear how much you care in your voice.
I do. I really do. I promise. it's a very impressive feat that you would do that for weeks on end. Very impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A different word occurred to me, but I'm glad you settled on impressive.
Oh, I figured that's what you wanted to hear. Let's go.
If you have a serious collection, right?
Sorry. I remember before
that was delivered so well. Like, oh.
Thank you. I remember being floored when I was younger by seeing Chrono Trigger in a store going for $300. Yeah, the guy probably doesn't have it anymore, but there's a local place that's a game store that had an authentic working cart of Chrono Trigger for the SNES that I think he was gonna go for like either in between the $150 to $200 range for it, which I was already like, oh, but I didn't have the money at the time, so I didn't get it, and I haven't been there since. Unfortunately, it's been months. But yeah, it's Chrono Trigger is fucking great. Love that game.
I have never played it.
Technically, I haven't either, but I've seen it, and it's great.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Of what I purchased for, and should I sell it, right? If you have a serious collection, right? It is incredibly complicated to actually get the right mix of physical and digital library material, keep it maintained, keep it organized, and in order to do it, you essentially are mastering the discipline of librarian.
Okay, I need to understand what the balance is, because you've now put that there is a ratio here, right?
You are mastering how a layman understands being a librarian.
Right, exactly. I assume by maintenance, you just mean continuing to add to it? Because I don't know what you mean otherwise.
Yeah, no, I'm in a similar position.
Right? So, like, that's what I'm
Books
going
are
for.
books are fairly shelf stable.
Hmm. So, yeah, because I assume that it is just continuing to add to your collection. In which case I go, sure, fuck it, I don't care. Go on, do whatever you want. You're obviously able to, and that's great for you. I'm really happy for you about that, but I
Yeah.
don't think that you understand that you're talking to anyone else. I'm sorry.
I wonder how old Garibay's children are. Are they D&D playing age?
Yeah,
Is every age D&D playing age if you're Scott Garibay?
maybe. Well, we know 12 is appropriate for DMing age, so must be around there at
When
least.
do you think they start? 3?
Yeah, probably. um,
Well, what if his children become more accomplished dungeon masters than him?
oh, he
How
would
much of a
be.
point of pride do you think
Oh,
he'd
he
feel?
would be so happy. God, he would be so happy. But they would have to do it to his standards, so I don't think that's possible.
Mm.
That's the thing.
I see the feeling I have is that Garabay's standards for DMing are like a set of goalposts that are like ever in flux.
Mm, yeah,
Like oh they're over here now. Oh they're over here, and he
yeah,
just kind of shifts them as convenient.
yeah. I think so. Chrono Trigger is a time investment to play. It is. It's a good one. It helps cut down grinding if you don't skip battles. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is no grinding in Chrono Trigger because there are a set amount of battles in every area. So as long as you just keep fighting every battle, you're fine. Um, because that's like the one big thing about Chrono Trigger that I really really like is that you can just do that and it's great. Anyway, if Garabay's children become successful DMs, he'll become like LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball? LeVar Ball. Uh,
I don't I
I don't know
don't know
if
what
that's
that
a
means.
mistype or anything. Please inform me. Anyway.
Right? And there's no question. There are thousands of people who dedicate their entire lives to mastering Librarian.
Oh, we're in the last
being
minute.
a librarian.
Okay, here we go.
And for us, it's just a bullet point because when you sign on to be a dungeon master,
Yeah, it is.
you are forfeiting if you commit to it, you are forfeiting your space as a normal human being. Right? You are saying what others would dedicate an entire lifetime to master even a single discipline.
Like a duck.
But
it always comes back to it.
Point for me. I must stretch my emotional, my spiritual, my intellectual state in order to find a path to mastery of many disciplines that others would struggle to master even one. Right? It is astoundingly complex, right? And so, it's D&D it's not a game, it's a life path. Like, it's so clear, right? Just open your eyes and see the complexity of what an actual call to.
Okay, you know what? I am going to be a boomer dad for a moment.
Oh, interesting. This is
I know you don't see that side of me that often.
No, I don't. I'm very interested in this.
But what do you think would happen if Scott Garabay's child, he's 30, lives at home,
right,
doesn't have a job,
but
he tells his parents that he's trying to master like being a DM, and that he has forfeited everything else in his life. He's a DM monk.
I see. That's interesting.
How long do you think Garibay would go? Okay, before going like, dude, you gotta find a job?
So, oh, that's an interesting question because I kind of am of the opinion that all of this is fucking like, as soon as anything in like real life happens, like this is all out the window. It doesn't fucking matter, right? To Garibay. So I feel like,
I don't know. I think Garibay feels the opposite.
well, so what I mean is, I guess if it comes to his family and stuff, I feel like there's there. I don't. I don't know. That's the problem now, because
Like
for a
Garibay sure
second,
talks a big game.
I know, and that's the thing. He talks such a big game, but I want to have this peace of mind where if that were to happen, he wouldn't accept it. Okay? He wouldn't be self-aware enough to understand that he's a big contradiction in that case. I feel if that were to happen, but I want to believe, all right? I'm the Fox Mulder at this point, okay? I want to believe that that is the case, that it is possible that he will just contradict himself without even thinking about it. I really want to believe that that's the case.
I am of the opinion that he could contradict himself and still think he was consistent in his message.
Oh, that's true. That's probably true.
I believe his grasp on reality
Yeah.
is enough of a reality with benefits situation
Okay.
that he could absolutely go like he could he could definitely think he was being consistent all along and
Yeah,
people just didn't understand him.
maybe. I don't know, man. Uh, um he's a dad who had 3 children that were trained to be in the NBA, but only 2 succeeded, and he's been jumping around for years bragging about it and exploiting them. Oh, so a piece of
Ah.
shit. Cool.
So what was Michael Jackson's father's name?
Michael Jackson's father's? I don't know. Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, so a Mr. Jackson sort of scenario.
um uh it's the fucking pageant mom thing.
Oh God.
That's what I meant. If you fight all the battles, you're fine, but it is possible to grind, and you can fall behind if you do start running from the fights. Oh, okay. I guess grinding to me, sorry, let me define. Grinding to me is like the Final Fantasy kind of thing where you get random encounters and random battles and stuff. If we're talking about grinding is just like doing all the like optional quote unquote stuff, like going everywhere and doing all of the fights that way, and that's what you mean by grinding, then that's totally fair. I understand. How you feel and the reality are 2 different things, and I think he'd lose patience after a time. That's where I started. But now I'm just like, I feel like he would just like what Aiden said now, he would just completely contradict himself and tell him to go get a job and then just think that he's fine. I think I'm more in that camp now, which sucks. I hate it here. But that's me, the sensible, normal person talking, and Garibay is not this. True. Don't worry, we're way past that conclusion.
We can only but theorize.
Yes. And honestly, that knowledge is madman's knowledge, and I do not require it. I don't want that insight. Thank you.
To be a dungeon master actually is. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is your library milieu like? What are the tasks you do? Is your library more or less complex than my tabletop role-playing game library? Have you dealt with this struggle?
I don't think you would let anyone else have a more complex library than you.
I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing.
He did admit that other people do it much better than him.
I mean that. Like, I don't think he would let anyone else have a more complex library than him.
Right.
Like, if you had an objectively more complex library, he would just try to spin how his current library is actually better than yours.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
And I say that because I know people like that.
That's fair. Yeah.
I feel like we all do.
Yeah. Random encounters are random encounters. Grinding is when you walk around repetitively looking for battles to build up levels. So I thought, well, I get. So this is the thing. In Chrono Trigger, are you able to do that? Because I felt like all the stuff was like put in your way, and you don't have to look out of your way to do it, like repetitively, because every area like has their own set battles and stuff. It's been, you know what? I'll play Chrono Trigger again at some point. I gotta get it and actually play it, and like go through it and really, because I don't have any references to like pull upon and all this. This is all coming from memory from a long while ago, so this is the thing with that. So and like I understand you're right about that with like the definitions. Like random encounters are themselves random encounters, but they're a part of the grinding, right? They're not themselves, you know, they can be a part of grinding. Sorry, rather than it being inherently grinding. Anyway, so it's a whole other conversation that I am obviously not qualified enough to talk about at the moment because I haven't played the game enough to really speak about it. Because again, working off of
Alejo,
memory.
you have so many games.
I do, and Chrono Trigger is not one of them, unfortunately. So, my library is sensible because I go out and socialize, but clearly that's not working because I don't have a wife and 4 children, and he does. I'm confused who's living the better life. In Chrono Trigger, enemies will respawn if you leave the area. That's how you would grind in that game if you were going to. I was under the impression that wasn't the thing. Oh. Well then, if that's the case, then this understanding that I had of Chrono Trigger for a very long time has been shattered if that's true. Damn. Chrono Trigger sucks now. No. Okay. Well, if that's the case. It's worth playing though if you haven't done it yet. Oh yeah, absolutely. I would never say it's not. I just didn't think that that's how it worked. But if that's the case, then I'm very wrong, and that's cool. Sounds like we need a Chrono Trigger stream. I wouldn't mind doing that. That'd be fun. Anyway. Yeah, that's Garibay.
Yay.
Yeah, that's, what can you say that hasn't already been said? You know? All right. Well,
Every time that we cover Garibay, I think of that one meme I requested of like the chimp becoming a person and ending
yes,
with Garibay.
with Garibay. Yep,
Ah,
that's true.
such good meme. Who made that? Was it Pizza Funk?
It might have been Pizza Funk. Either Pizza Funk or Draco Kraken or
Mog.
Mog or Con was starting to make some, I think, if I remember right.
Ah, may have been Con.
Yeah. Anyway, now that is over and I can stop thinking about that forever.
It was Draco Kraken.
It's Draco Kraken. Yep.
Yeah. Although, the meme, Rico posted of like, my guiding
right.
light.
Rico also does good ones, yeah.
That's pretty choice though.
Mm-hmm. True. So let's move on to comments. Only got a couple, but it's gonna be enough to get that Garibay out of my brain. And by a couple I mean a few, because there's actually, I thought there was only 2, but there's 3. Anyway, one of them is for Boo, which I will send to him in general after. So sorry that he can't respond to you on the episode, but let me get this up here. I will still read it. What can you say that hasn't already been said? That's the question I'm going to have to answer for myself before the next episode. Well, don't worry, you'll have a couple of weeks. Because as I said, and I'll let you know now, Aiden, I won't have internet at my new place until next Wednesday. So, yeah. So, that sucks. And then that Thursday on, I won't be home. So, yeah, I'm going on a vacation. Woo!
Yay!
Yeah, I'm actually very excited for it.
After the stream, I will ask you all about your vacation.
I will tell you all about my vacation, not yours. Jesus, brain.
If you know all about my vacation, I'm going to be very impressed. One,
Fair.
two, wonder how you have access to knowledge that I don't, because I've not been on a vacation in quite some time.
It's called foresight, my friend. I'm a dungeon master.
Oh, is this the secret 11th path?
That's right.
Are you opening up the 11 inner gates?
That's right. Yes. All right. So this was posted on episode 112, our amending bad advice episode, the one where we covered that Jenny D video. And it's from Leanson, and it says, "Hello guys, nice hearing from you, Prince Boo 21. I'm just passing, but Prince Boo, I'm not gonna say his full thing every time. It's nice seeing you continue to make videos. You're my first subscription in YouTube, and man, it's been a hell of a good ride this past 10 years. Lol. Well, I just want to say thank you for the Let's Play video from way back from the PS2 games to Tales of Symphonia. It's just great seeing that we all have grown and you are doing well. Cheers for the team, and keep doing a great job, guys. Thank you." I'll make sure to send it to him, and I'll make sure that he hopefully either gives you a little thanks or something, you know?
Dude, I'm pretty sure the apartment directly below mine is cooking steak, and it smells fucking delicious.
That sounds good. Hell yeah. And then on last week's episode, 113, a lot of tangents and bad jamming styles. This is from Timothy Martin saying, "On the topic of DM styles, as long as the people at the table talk to each other and the DM does not railroad anyone, then I think any kind of style would be fine to me. Also, going back to the chat at the beginning, I love things such as coffee and tea. I will take the sleep when I can get it. Plus, Aiden's Big Mac story was awesome. Have a nice day."
Hell yeah.
And he puts a smiley face, a thumbs up, and a burger emoji. Nice.
Aww.
Very good. I like it. Yeah. Obviously, we have our definition of railroad is different than everyone else's. So if you mean railroad in the extremely negative sense, then I understand what you mean. And then finally, Lux on that same episode says, "As it turns out, I don't actually have much coming to mind that wasn't already said. Oh, I might say something that was already said anyway, but I don't remember now. What everything I could say basically boils down to this. A GM's job is ultimately to give players something to do with their characters. All the valid pitfalls Guy brought up in his video boil down to depriving players of their ability to matter. The railroading GM decides everything the players are going to do ahead of time so they don't get a choice. Someone using a DMPC badly, keyword right there, would set up problems for the party to solve. Thank you for that, by the way. And then solve them. The actor GM keeps players from participating by constantly monopolizing the attention. The not a GM just doesn't provide a coherent world where actions matter in the first place. And the hostile GM ensures that players are just going to fail no matter what they try to do. Whether the player's actions are brilliant or stupid as shit, it makes no difference to the outcome. So basically, always keep the goal of establishing player agency in mind. Don't get so caught up in the intricacies of your narrative or your world building that you neglect to give your players a game to play. You create the scenario, and it's up to the players to try and get the outcome their characters would want out of it. If you create a DMPC, use that character to support the player's efforts, not to take the lead themselves. And that's it. Roll credits."
You know, I actually feel that that is a fantastic comment that actually outpaces like you took our entire like multi-hour podcast
Mm-hmm.
and summed it up fantastically.
I would say so, yeah.
Hats off to you. That's actually a really good comment.
Yes. And it was your shortest one, I think.
I actually think if I were to describe to people, like from now on, when I describe the DMing issues,
Yep.
I am going to paraphrase what you said and sound all smart and act like I came up with it. Like,
this is his brand. He does do this. He's told me specifically multiple times, can I take that and tell people that I came up with it, and I've said yes. I remember this vividly.
And Alejo, like, regardless of whether Alejo says yes or not, the answer is still yes for me.
But I've never said no, because I don't care.
That is true. but it's like I've told coworkers at my new work, I'm like, I'm stealing that, not giving you credit, and not paying any royalties.
That's right.
That's mine now.
Exactly. So feel very very honored. He only does that to stuff that he really likes.
Yeah, who said that? Was that Mog?
That was Lux. That was Lux.
That is a good, very good comment.
Yes, very good. You don't have to watch that episode anymore. You can just read that. There you go.
Yeah, really. Like, we're trying to build a brand here, Lux.
We're already at 14. It's fine.
Fucking calm down.
I grant you permission to steal my comments, says Lux. There you go.
All right, sick.
But yeah.
I mean, it was going to be mine anyway. But I mean, I guess I can sleep a little easier at night knowing I have permission.
You were gonna sleep like a log anyway.
Shut up.
So yeah, that's it. That's all the things today. Thank you again to our patrons, of course, that being Draco Kraken, Mog Zero, Rick aka Unit Rico, Slazer, Steely, Drake Cross, Chris, Frozen Spaghetti, Kill Chrono, and of course Lux, the Evil Lord of Space, and our Tier 1. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, of course, and commenting in the chat, and those of you in the future who comment on the video, and those of you who just watch it for like 5 seconds. I don't give a fuck. That's fine. That's up to you. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I'm not your dad.
What a weird way of saying I don't give a shit. I got the click.
Okay, that's not what I meant. To be fair, shit. That could be taken that way. Damn it. No, what I mean is I have no control over you, and don't let me influence you in any way. Unless you
influencer.
Yeah. So whatever. I'm not your dad. Shut up. The key to ruling the world is to give everyone permission to do what they were going to do anyway. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Nice. Anyway, if you're new, consider the subscription to the channel. Consider watching other streams in the past. Who knows? Consider clicking the like button or whatever, or leaving a comment, or just hanging out for future stuff. Regardless, thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, more than likely. So yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye. Farewell. Good evening. Goodbye.
Hey.